This is Sports Talk on the FM dial. Also on livefm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket. Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake. Brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from Coppel Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake. Sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early break, full show ahead. Lots to get to. You can always call and text 402-464-5685. Watch and comment on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. The show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking. Sip, it's not just you and me today. It's not just you and me. If you're watching on the video stream, you can see a new person on the stream. And that is, of course, Coach Bill Busch. Coach, good morning. Good to have you here today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. A lot of confusion right now. When I walked in, I had had no idea that you guys were doing a sports talk radio show. I thought we were.
That's very funny.
I thought we were doing like kind of a WKRP. I thought it was like a guest DJ. I brought a bunch of my old albums and was starting to spin some vinyl. But
what'd you bring today?
What's that? I brought some Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
I brought some Jerry Jeff Walker. And then all my Kiss albums, Kiss Alive 1, Kiss
sweet.
Alive 2.
Hey, I almost had a Kiss song today for something that didn't, though.
Yeah, I'm in the Kiss Army, so.
You are?
The Kiss Army?
Absolutely.
How old are you?
What's that? Old enough to be in the Kiss
Hold
Army.
on. Let's establish age.
56.
Wow, you guys are the same age. Look at
I'm
that.
55.
Are you in the Kiss Army, too?
I wasn't officially, but I kind of grew to like them as I got older. Welcome to Bill Busch. Welcome to you, Jake.
We're glad to have Coach Busch here today.
Yeah, there's only three. I'm just going to lay out three or four rules for Bill. Okay.
I need some.
Listen.
I need
rules off the bat here.
I need
What's
rules.
going
I
on
do.
here?
I need some guidance.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things. I mean, I thought about you doing this, and there's some things I think you got to know off the bat. And speaking to the microphone.
He's doing a good job with that so far. I mean, come on.
Be yourself.
That's usually not a great thing, but we'll stick with
yourself.
I tell you that all the time. So we'll just don't be yourself.
Only I can eat on the air.
Yes.
Okay.
And he does.
He
And he does a lot.
Okay. And leave the very tough, complex, schematic football questions to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's the expert.
Because that's what I went back on both of you guys. And
No.
I went back and
receipts?
I looked at your huddle link, and the best I could come up with was no football. So the people that every day are dissecting Husker football or any football, Dolphin football, never played.
Well,
so it's always
that's true.
It's outstanding.
So
no football. So I'll have schematic wise. You guys handle.
Yeah, I mean, like the Bengals were disguising their coverages yesterday. I'll talk about.
Oh, is that right? You're
just
the expert
hey,
there.
just leave that to me.
I'd appreciate that.
The football.
Joe Burrow
The
would
real
appreciate
coach.
that.
The
You
real
know my
coach
background.
over
You know my background. What is your background?
Been around it a little bit, but hey, I know this. I don't have a job right now, so it's not like I'm one up on anybody. Just some clown on the radio.
Oh well, it's good to have you, Coach.
Yeah, it is good to have you. We're honored, actually. actually. Ooh, I don't want to say stuff like that too much, but yeah, we're honored.
Oh,
yeah.
it's so great to be here like that. I enjoyed it. It kind of started off with I text Sip one time and he said I'm running the show by myself because Jake was on a 17-day vacation to
I say it was 10
to
easy
Hawaii.
now.
So I'm like, heck, why don't you out of co-host like that? And so kind of worked some things around and asked me to come in for a day. So like I said, I've got a lot of free time, so it worked out well.
Jake doesn't take that many vacations, but he did go on a pretty long one.
Well, again, it was only 7 days of actual work.
Yeah.
It was 10 days total. It's proper. It's fine. And I'm back now for a full week here.
You are a millennial.
Idle Chit Chat, sponsored by Newton's Lawn Care. Call them today for your fertilizer quote for 2023. I like to look at different hats we wear today. You got the Las Vegas Bowl on. Busch,
I like
Phil.
it.
When
Vegas
what's
Bowl,
that
was a big one for us at the University of Utah. We beat Pete Carroll and the USC Trojans in his first year.
Oh, wow.
And so that was fun.
That's a
Like
big
Carson
story.
Palmer was their quarterback and beat him down there on Christmas Day.
You were coaching for whom?
University of Utah.
Utah.
Yeah, so it was fun with Coach McBride, and Coach Whittingham was the defensive coordinator, the current head coach, and it was great. We stayed at the Golden Nugget in Old Vegas like that, so it was a fun time like that for us. It was a huge game for us. It was a lot of big win for the Utes, and I've always said really what happened from that is that we really started Pete Carroll. He realized what he had to do from that time on to turn the program around. And he did. Which is I made that up. That's not really.
I was going to say, you should deserve credit for Pete Carroll's rise.
Yes, exactly.
You are the man in charge of the rise of Pete Carroll.
Yes.
One person.
I remember when he won the Super Bowl, first he went back to was the Vegas Bowl. He said that's where it started.
That's the one. Should have shot him a text and say, hey, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Coach. That's my doing here.
It was a great game, and it was a Christmas Day game, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, that's good. All right. Idle Chit Chat, sponsored by Newton's Lawn Care.
Did that qualify as Idle Chit Chat?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. What'd you do this weekend? You want to get to that?
I worked.
I watched football. Look how you're supposed to.
Exactly.
I sat on my couch. I watched NFL football.
This is what we're going to get to.
Nebraska basketball, which was unfortunate, but I watched mostly football.
I do got the scores here, Jake.
Let's
I got them.
Let's get to the order of the games.
Okay, go ahead.
The first game was on Saturday in Kansas City. The Jaguars fall to the Chiefs 27-20. Patrick Mahomes gets an injury in the first quarter. Misses the second quarter, comes back for the second half. The Chiefs win that game, and they are just a slight favorite. I think 1.5 point favorite against the Bengals next Sunday in the AFC Championship game. We'll get to that game here in a second. In Arrowhead. So Chiefs beat the Jags 27-20. Let's start there.
Well, let's get the other scores.
You want the other scores?
Sparky.
Okay. Well, the night game, the Eagles absolutely torched the Giants 38-7. It was never a game. It was 14-0 off the bat. Giants never pushed them. 38-7 victory. And then yesterday, the Bengals beat the Bills in Buffalo 27-10 in a game that was also never really that close. Bengals were in control of that one. And then last night, the Niners, Brock Purdy keeps it going. NFC Championship, Brock Purdy 19-12 over the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott falls short once again on the big stage. So
a lot of great games. There
There
were
were.
like several great games. Some obviously the Eagles one for a viewing purpose was horrific, but obviously if you're an Eagles fan, you love it. So there's a lot of good things. There's a lot of things that went on, behind the scenes with those games. So it'll be fun to get able to talk about some of those.
Hey, seriously though, I mean, did you watch? Let's start with the Bengals since he was very instrumental in bringing Joe Burrow to LSU. They did disguise. I was just reading about it that the Bengals part of their success yesterday was attributed to them disguising coverages. Josh Allen holding the ball, getting hammered in the pocket because he was confused. Did you see anything that they were doing? Were they playing half zone, half man, or what?
The major disguises will come from on third down situations. They did a really good job. Lou did, the defensive coordinator. With
Anarumo, right?
Yeah,
Anarumo.
job,
He's a stud. He's a stud.
Yeah, great guy, really good person. Obviously, he'll have a chance, to be a head coach in the NFL at some point in time. He did a really nice job of showing pressure and then dropping 8 and rushing 3, and they had, they got a sack off of that, and they did some different looks to change some things up for him that was really nice. But the number one reason that the game went the way that it went was the Bengals' ability to rush the football.
Oh.
That was probably the number one thing. Joe Burrow played really well. The defense played well, made their stops they had to make. I believe they had 172 yards rushing, which is in the playoffs is a ridiculous amount of yards. And that when that happens, Well, guess what? Play action and Joe Burrow then becomes so much more effective. So the ability to run the football for them was a key to that game. And it was obviously I'm a huge Bengals fan just because of the connection with Zach Taylor and the connection with Joe Burrow, and then a lot of their staff is very good friends of mine.
And then also they did something a little different. They put Jamar Chase in the backfield. Jake, did you notice that?
I did notice that. How often did it happen?
They were doing it early.
Okay.
Hit Buffalo a couple times with surprises in that regard. They hit Tyler Boyd downfield because of safety and linebacker were confused about what Chase was doing. Well, they actually motioned him into the slot, and the linebacker and safety were confused. But they got some run out of it, and it was a surprise. They hadn't done it.
It's something that comes up. I've always used the term imposter, which means they're putting a wide receiver at running back. So you say imposter to him. If you noticed, it happened also. The Jags threw a touchdown against the Chiefs on the same situation. They threw a wheel route out of the backfield. I believe it was Kirk.
Yeah, it was Kirk.
So that was an imposter play.
They lined
also.
up Kirk.
That was a great throw.
Yeah,
that was a great play.
Yeah, at LSU, several times in the first playoff game when I was with them and we were playing Oklahoma, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was out. And so Jamar Chase played some running back, and they just ran inside zone with him sometimes. He's a big physical person, but that's the what it causes is some matchup situations with you. And so it causes some, like it causes problems right away. And they come line out in a normal formation. Well, it's not. The running back's lined up out here. Then
why is Chase in the backfield?
Why is he in the backfield? And then he can do some things from that spot. So it was a great little tweak by Zach and by Brian Callahan. Is the offensive coordinator, a really good friend of mine for the Bengals. So great job by those guys.
Yeah, and remember, don't get out over your skis on the complexities. I'll handle it.
That's Sip's job here.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
he's the expert.
I'll talk more about the snow and
the optics of the situation.
Maybe the broadcast. You handle the broadcast.
I'll handle the broadcast part and what I thought that Romo did good and bad. You handle stuff that really when it's
handle the colorful stuff that nobody gives a damn about.
Hey, before we move on, everyone know we've mentioned that Bill was very tight with Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want to hear from Joe Burrow's mouth himself.
Yeah.
About what Bill Busch means to him. I got a surprise for you,
Is
Bill.
Joe coming on live? Because he's probably a little tired right now.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
You may have heard this clip before. This is from January 31st, 2020. Joe Burrow was with Dan Patrick, the Dan Patrick Show. And he was asked about going to LSU, how that happened. Here is a little bit of that from Dan Patrick and Joe Burrow back in 2020. Oops, hang on. Getting there.
Did LSU find you or did you find LSU?
No, it was even me. Coach Bill Busch was at Ohio State with me for a year, and he became the safety coach at LSU. He a table for me with Coach O. He's like, if we get this guy, we're going to win the national championship. He said that 2 Mays ago, and on the table, and then started watching film with me, fell in love with me, and I went on a visit, and I fell in love with them.
Okay, wait. So they said if we bring in Joe, the national title.
Yeah.
Did you know that he said that to Coach O?
I did, yeah.
That's a little bit of pressure there, Joe.
Maybe a little, but, that's what I wanted to do. So that's when he said that to me, I got fired up. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Remember that conversation, Bill?
I do remember the conversation. Sometimes during Joe's first year, we'd have a practice or two, and maybe it didn't go so well. We're pretty decent on defense too, and Coach Joe would come by me like, Joe didn't throw it very good today. So when he made the promise, but obviously he came through. What I knew with Joe was from being with him and being such good friends with his dad so long, and then having a chance to coach one of his brothers here and friends with his other brother, and was that how tough he was and how competitive he was and how fast he could process. And so I knew with the people we had around him, the success would have a great chance to come our way. It's probably kind of a bold statement. It's kind of a to have worked out pretty well and make kind of Joe. But I was just really, really humble, really lucky to just be a part of it. And it was a lot of fun. It's a great family. And he's a pretty cool guy when you see him out there on the field.
He's about to get a lot cooler because this offseason he's going to sign a contract for $500 million.
Seriously. What
he's going to resign.
Yeah, he'll resign.
That's Mahomes type money over there.
It's going to be $500 million.
It.
It's going to be $500 million.
Also what I feel so great about the story and for the Bengals is that Joe's from Ohio, so he grew up wanting to play for the Bengals, so he wants to stay right there. He doesn't have another place in mind. That's where he wants to be. That's where his life is. And so that's a pretty cool situation for the city of Cincinnati and for the Bengals to be able to do. And just hopefully Joe, through his connections now, can get them. I think they have a bubble now. They don't have an indoor yet. And so I'm sure
Really?
that might be one of Joe's negotiations, is to make sure he gets an indoor facility. They have a bubble. They just got that just last year.
Well, when you make a Super Bowl, you can start making some demands here.
Rutgers has a bubble.
They do. I've been in the bubble.
Burrow, I don't think about this stuff like you guys do, because I don't watch the NFL as much as you guys. Well, Bill doesn't watch a lot. He can't watch a lot of it. But, think about Burrow, Allen, Mahomes. This is going to be going on in the AFC for the next decade.
Tro and Trevor Lawrence there, Justin Herbert maybe also.
Oh,
I'm not going to put Tua there yet because you got to stay healthy, but those 5 for sure.
Somehow it all got back to the Dolphins.
It had to, it always does, Bill.
It just circled its way all the way back to the Dolphins.
I said maybe.
He just dropped it in there.
Say maybe about anybody.
Yeah.
There's 5 for sure. Yeah. Maybe Tua, if he stays healthy. But no, throw Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert. There's 5 guys that will just be a rotation.
You would say the top 3, though, Mahomes, Allen, and
now, have you changed your order yet? Because if you recall, maybe you heard this, Bill. Last week we were going through our top 5 quarterbacks in the league, and I had Burrow second, Allen third, and he had Allen second, Burrow third. I still think Burrow's the second best quarterback.
Obviously, Sipple made a critical error.
Of course,
that happens.
It's not an error. It's a subjective analysis.
He made an error. It's okay.
It's not an error. It's an opinion. I like Allen's arm strength. I like his ability to run.
He's an alien.
He is a unbelievable quarterback.
So
and strength and his body, what he can do and how he can run and things he does. He's an incredible player.
Burrow's obviously excellent, and yesterday he was good. They did run the ball well. Mixon ran for 105 himself. Burrow was 23 for 36 for 242. Led scoring drives. You guys watched it on 5 of the Bengals' first 7 possessions. Bam.
Yeah, it was an impressive show. No turnovers for Joe Burrow. Just never really panicked at all. Always was in there.
The Bengals are playing the us against the world card. Are they disrespected?
Yes. Yeah, they are.
Do you think so?
Well, think about this. The Bengals made the Super Bowl last year. They've beaten the Chiefs 3 times this calendar. In 2022, they beat them 3 times. Playoffs, at the end of the regular season, 2021, and then obviously in the regular season this year. And still everyone says it's Bills, Chiefs in the AFC. And they forget about the Bengals. Of course they're disrespected.
You know what the NFL did? They were selling tickets. They were selling tickets for the neutral site game, Bills, Chiefs, just in advance.
Which was awesome for, again, that's something that I'm sure is very motivational to him.
Oh, it was really motivational.
It's also something you have to do. You can't just all of a sudden, like today, be like, somebody better print some tickets up. Someone get to Kinko's ASAP. We got ourselves a ball game. What do we? Is the we got to move the rodeo. The rodeo's got to move. We got to get the monster trucks out of here. Are you kidding me? So I think that's probably they had to have some form of a plan. Sipple,
I was just saying, it was motivational though. Joe, your friend Joe Burrow talked about it.
He said, "Get those refunds going."
Yeah, who's their D lineman? Reader,
DJ Reader.
Jake knows these rosters. DJ Reader talked. Yeah, all those guys were talking about it. It was an affront to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would be in the front. It would be something that you would use. Yeah. And that team does handle that well. I was listening to Zach this morning, and he talked about how he discussed with him that the best winning percentage in the NFL in the playoffs is at the Bills, is at home.
Yeah.
I think they're like 14-1 or something. And he addressed it with the team because he knew what it would do to him. It wouldn't be like, oh God, what do we do? It was more like, all right, can't wait to get out there. And that is that kind of that and I think that all comes from the top down. Coach Taylor does a great job of that, and just having a quarterback that is always the only way you have culture on your team is that when your best player is the hardest worker. That's when you have culture.
When you're Chase a hard worker?
What's that? Hard worker. God, we go to one-on-ones.
So you were at, let's establish who Bill Busch is. You were at LSU with Jamar Chase.
Right, with Jamar, and then obviously
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson was there, and Terrence Marshall's there too, who was a second-round pick. And so that was the three guys we were going against. But they would go unlimited reps if they walked out there in one-on-ones, and it was only good on good. And if it wasn't, they'd walk away. They'd make sure everything was, I want Stingley on me. I want this on me. I want the starters on me. And so that was impressive. And they would practice that way. In general, during that time, I just don't love wide receivers. I'm a defensive back coach. We're always kind of like, just kind of go back and forth. I say don't like, just go back and forth a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys, like after every game, almost every practice, I would tell them how much I loved them and appreciated them. They would practice so hard. They would try to embarrass you on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and that's why they're doing what they do now. Besides their ridiculous talent, the way they worked is just was remarkable. So, like I said, that's when you have culture, and when you have that, I mean, I've seen in practice where it's always stay away from the quarterback, and I've seen Joe several times in practice get hit when he shouldn't have, and it's just a full-on brawl with him and one of the other players, and they're just throwing haymakers at each other.
Are they throwing hands?
And they're throwing hands. They're throwing hands. They're throat punching people, and then Joe just everybody just kind of pop up and go play again. Yep. There wasn't a lot of. We had a situation in a practice one time where Jacoby Stevens, who's my all-SEC safety. Mm-hmm. Just lit Joe up. Mm-hmm. And this was it's in the spring. He already had shoulder surgery, so he's in a non-contact jersey, and a full-on brawl breaks out. And this also goes down to the coaching staff, I believe, and how Coach Ogeron had it set up. So it breaks out, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm not, how am I going to keep my job?
Safety's coach.
Yeah. Thanks for putting that together, Sid. He just tied that together so well. It was just like it just came out of nowhere. Like that. And I'm just like, so right when we get done, I see Steve Ensminger, who's our offensive coordinator, who's one of the greatest people in the history of college football. I just look at him, Steve, and I'm like, Steve, I know, I handle it. He goes, don't worry about that, Billy. That stuff happens down here in the SEC. Now people are going to get banged around a little bit.
Happens in the SEC.
It wasn't a fight in the locker room afterwards. There was nothing there. But when you have that kind of toughness at that position, because the QB, it's not what the quarterback. It's like I always say, real toughness is how much can you take. And you saw the shot that Josh Allen took yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when you have people running full speed, unabated to you and hitting you, that would really hurt.
Yeah.
Like that. So those guys are grown men back there, and they should get paid what they get paid.
Yeah, $500 million.
Yeah, well, Burrow's going to get that with Mahomes.
Yeah, he's literally going to make $500 million.
And Josh Allen will get that eventually as someone that counts.
And you're right. Those guys it sounds like all those guys I don't know all those guys, but Burrow, Zach Taylor staying in Cincy.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, if they win next week, that's back-to-back Super Bowls. And they might be the favorite in that game. Maybe. If the Eagles make it, maybe not. But I mean, they're back-to-back Super Bowls.
But you think if the Niners make it, they'd be the favorite?
I don't know. I'm curious where the odds are.
They don't want to be the favorite.
It should be a great game. Yeah,
they want to keep playing that us against the World Cup.
Well, they were the dog last year and lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
But, now they get a second chance at it here. Well, their opponent this weekend is the Chiefs, who we mentioned beat the Jags by 7 at Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes survives a scary injury moment in the first quarter, leaves the game, comes back in the second half.
I thought he got hurt in the second quarter.
Was it early second quarter?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. It was in the first half.
And it was Henny time.
It was Chad Henne. Chad Henne comes in off the bench, hadn't played in a long time. 98-yard touchdown drive. Hello.
So
it's pinned at the 2-yard line and goes 98 yards, and you say, all right, respect off the bat, respect for Chad Henne.
When I'm thinking like a newspaper guy, and there's a headline that comes out of that deal, anything is possible.
You and 8,000 Twitter people. Way to go. Very original. Very original. Oh, God. Yeah, just type it in on Twitter. You'll see a million things of that.
And also, this needs to be addressed early in this program, is that it's hard to try. I don't trust you. One is someone who wears a bow tie. I don't trust them. And then people that laugh at their own jokes. That is the next thing. And Sipple is like, when he says something, he leads the howl. Yep. You're supposed to laugh now. I've never been to a great comedian, and all of a sudden it's like, what'd you think about him? It's like, I could hardly hear the end of his joke because he was laughing so hard at what he was going to say. And so this is concerning to me, Sipple, someone that laughs at their own stuff that much.
Possible. Anything is possible.
Again, type that in on Twitter and see what you find, because it's not exactly new or original.
Okay.
It's out there.
So that's an interesting situation. I think the Jacksonville story is almost equally as interesting.
Jacksonville was 3-8 this year at one point, and then they rolled off 7 straight wins.
Could they be the team that dominates that division going forward, like the Colts once did?
The South is bad right now.
Right.
I mean, the Titans lost so many games to end the season. They got questions. Is Tannehill the guy going forward? You got Derrick Henry still. The defense is still pretty good. The Texans are, of course, in rebuild mode, and the Colts are in rebuild mode. So at this point, it looks like with Trevor Lawrence, you got your guy there.
You have Lawrence and Doug Peterson like you have Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow.
Good combo.
And we felt when we played, as good as Trevor Lawrence was, we felt when we played Clemson in the national championship game when I was at LSU, that the best player on the field was ETN.
Whoa.
It was ETN. Because if you watched him against the Ohio State in the semifinals, he was a dominant player, really dominant player.
What? Why?
He ran so angry. Yeah, he ran angry, and when you have to tackle angry people, that's not near as much fun. And obviously, he never missed a cut and did some things. But to go back on the Chiefs, this is where brilliant shows up in the Andy Reid. Is that so? Now all of a sudden, there's 2 things that happen. One, anything can happen comes in, which is awesome for you.
Yeah,
and so Henne comes in like that. But what happens? So now the play caller has to have, what does this quarterback, our backup quarterback, do best? It can't just be, we just keep calling the same exact plays, because they're different. They're going to have different things. What does he do the best? And then he has to have in his mind for what can we do with someone that's on a half of leg when Mahomes comes back in. Yeah. So the play caller there and Andy Reid, he did a brilliant job of putting him in great situations with what had to happen. And they executed it, but he also knew that this happened. Here's what he does best. Here's what he can get done. Then all of a sudden trying to call a game with an injured quarterback
in the playoffs, with all that pressure. Yeah.
Well, think about the conversation too. I mean, a lot of fans say, well, here we go. Here's some adversity. Can you win without Patrick Mahomes? And they go have a 98-yard drive saying, what was that? What were you saying? We're just fine. That's big.
Meanwhile, on the sideline, your $500 million quarterback is begging to come in. I mean, like Joe Burrow, like a Joe Burrow type toughness, saying, get me in the game. I mean, he's pleading to get in the game.
That injury, once you hear anytime in coaching, when you hear from the press box or that, what's he got? High ankle. You're like, oh, that's not good. That's a rough injury. And it won't, if it's a true high ankle, it won't change a lot between now and next week.
What do you do then?
It's not, it'll still be very limited. That is a long-term injury. It's probably 8 weeks before you feel like you're really back to yourself, and could be more. So it's a really, really tough injury for him.
Well,
yeah, I'm just curious. With that being said, with Mahomes not going to be 100%, he's going to play, but he's not going to be 100%. I mean, I get they're the home team, but I would favor the Bengals.
Well, when's the last time the Chiefs beat the Bengals?
It's been they've lost 3 straight times.
I think it's more than that, but our research
Burrow's
department
beat them 3 straight times.
Yeah, we'll put our research department on that. The Bengals, that series has been heavily tilted toward the Bengals. It's remarkable almost. I'm sort of surprised they're an underdog.
Well,
Are you ready for all this?
This has been outstanding.
Are you ready for it?
And again, just the way you tied some things together, Simple, was really outstanding.
That's why I am the star of this show, and that's why I will remain the star of the show.
Absolutely.
NFC, we're not going to talk about the Eagles 38-7.
Yeah, what do we need to? What do you need to say?
I just think in general, Jalen Hurts. The question was, is he healthy? He looked pretty damn healthy to me. I didn't see any injuries at all. He ran the ball well. He was good with his decision making. And that game was over early. I mean, it was 14-0 off the bat. Giants had a touchdown in the late in the game to make it 7, but it was 28-0 at halftime. And a lot of questions about, is Jalen Hurts ready for this moment? He looked pretty ready to me on Saturday night.
He's one of the more remarkable quarterbacks right now in the NFL, just because labeled has can't throw it. Not good enough to be able to hang in there with in the pockets. He had a lot of knocks on him, and how he's led his team. I think that what they had, they were 14-3, and 2 of the losses were without him. Correct?
I think
So he lost one game in the regular season, and I think they're probably as good a play callers for him right now. That you saw him carry the ball in design quarterback runs. He has the ability to keep plays alive, and then also has, because they can run the ball and he can run it, they have a lot of play action, and he gets himself out of trouble. I have the utmost respect for him. We had to play against him when I was at LSU in the semifinals, and he just did a lot of things. I mean, he was a Heisman finalist, and he was always, talk about an underdog. There's a guy that's been the underdog every time. He played unbelievable, and then gets pulled out of the national championship game.
Yeah.
And Tua comes in. They end up winning the game.
Touchdown pass or two.
And then he comes back and he wins the SEC championship for him. But then Tua comes back into the game at the next game in the national championship game. And he's always, boy, he's taken a few knocks and just keeps going. So he's one of those stories, man, you pull for him. There's no doubt about that. And I know having to coach against him, every snap you were nervous because what he could do, just how tough he was, and then his strength is ridiculous. So, especially lower body. I mean, he's got all kinds of powerlifting records and all these things.
Is that right?
And, he's really special young man and a really good quarterback. And like I said, that game wasn't even worth watching.
It was terrible.
Yeah. Did you think Brock Purdy has some powerlifting records?
No. I don't, but
you don't impressive. Know. Maybe he does. Also, this is interesting because you're wearing your wife's glasses. Does Trixie know that you're wearing?
Nobody does.
No, I just want to make
these
sure.
Are women's glasses, but I think I can pull it off.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now, the guy who's going to, no matter what happens with him, is going to make a just like I'd say bales of money delivered to your house will be Purdy for how he can market himself as Mr. Irrelevant 1 year after being Mr. Irrelevant.
It's incredible.
If he ends up going to the Super Bowl as the quarterback and he was the last pick in the draft, because usually Mr. Irrelevant a couple times is like he's made a team. Yeah, I made a team, but this is a story.
No, you're right.
And it wasn't like he was Mr. Irrelevant 7 years ago.
Right. Mr. Irrelevant kind of changes the whole dynamic.
So he'll have a chance like that. There'll be all kinds of things like that. Get the Mr. Irrelevant sandwich at Subway or something.
You see what Nick Saban told Purdy on the recruiting trip?
What did he say?
Purdy shared this with the media. Okay, and this it illustrates that even the greatest coach of all time can miss. He told Purdy, "You're below average in height." Purdy told the media. Purdy told the media that Saban told him this on his recruiting trip. "You're below average in height. Your arm strength is whatever, and your accuracy is average. No scholarship."
I would like to have been there for that. I'd like to see how accurate that is.
That's what Purdy said.
But is that 100% Purdy's quote like that? Yeah. Like, have you heard it? Have you heard him say it? Or was it one of these things that was just shot out there somewhere? Hearsay somewhere. Because I have a hard time believing that one.
He said, this is an athletic article. Purdy assessed all of his options before committing to Iowa State, and that included visiting Alabama. This is in a discussion with The Athletic. Purdy shared what Nick Saban had to say of his skill set.
Could be. Might be true. Might be true.
It's pretty wild that there's a real scenario that the two best offensive players that were rookies this year were from Iowa State. Brock Purdy at quarterback and Breece Hall, who got hurt for the Jets, but he was tearing it up with the Jets. I mean, Iowa State might have had the two best rookie offensive players this year in the NFL. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. That is amazing.
Pat Campbell.
That is amazing. But he didn't do much with them.
I'm just a couple years ago they were good, but last year disappointed. You're right. 2 years ago.
Didn't do much with them. What was it? What was the final record? Was it 7-5?
But I'm talking about the year before that, though. They were pretty good. They disappointed though their final year. You're correct though. They did.
Yeah, I mean, people were putting them in like a college football playoff contender. And you know what? Those people weren't probably wrong when you look at what Purdy and Breece Hall do.
Those guys are studs. Yeah. And Breece Hall gets hurt, but he was tearing it up for the Jets before he got hurt. Difference maker.
I'll get to a break.
Yeah, we need to get to a break. When we come back, if you got any questions for Bill Busch, please call or text 402-464-5685.
Where are we going next?
Well, we'll take some questions. We got a caller that wants to ask Bill a question.
Okay.
Plus, I want to ask you about the portal, the transfer portal.
Awesome.
That's up next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play those courses without ever leaving the city at Double Eagle Golf. Double is the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, spin rate, and more to give you the most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Come see the state's largest display of John Deere equipment at Acres Ag and Turf Expo. Acres Ag professionals and suppliers will be on hand to discuss techniques from tillage and planting to application and harvest. Also, don't miss the full lineup of John Deere mowers and compact tractors. Join us at Grand Island Fauner Park, February 21st and 22nd, or the Lincoln Lancaster Event Center, March 8th and 9th. A.com to request your free tickets today.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities to you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build a professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created over 50 years online at actionlincoln.com.
Hair loss and thinning is chronic, progressive, and frustrating. What we know is that the earlier it's diagnosed and treated aggressively, the better the long-term results. QC Kinetics offers a unique and comprehensive approach to restoring and improving hair follicle density and hair thickness. The majority of hair loss can be managed medically without the need for surgery. Their multifaceted approach to hair restoration allows them to help you improve both the appearance and thickness of your hair. Call QC Kinetics in Lincoln today at 402-205-4270 or go to QCkinetics.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Meeting your goal of having a healthy diet has never been easier than with the Venue at Home Healthy Living subscription. Chef-inspired meals, conscious, and delivered right to your door every week. All you have to do is heat and eat. We offer delicious entrees, gluten-free pastas, rice bowls, soups, salads, and more. Build your own package as a subscription to receive meals every week, designed to help you meet your dietary goals. Order your custom healthy meal package today at Venue at Home.
Heartland International Lines. People facing more hardships than ever before. It's becoming all too common to hear that someone has become so desperate they've taken their own life. People almost always warn those close to them that desperation is near, be a shoulder to lean on, and insist that they seek professional help. This message from Dennis and Penny Nunn at Heartland International in Lincoln. Marketing quality products since 1974. Visit heartlandinternational.com. We're stronger when we help one another.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering with some of the best burger fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
This
Good morning, brother.
is Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're just tuning in, we've got Bill Busch with us for the entire show today. If you have any questions for Bill, please call or text 402-464-5685. Nice rundown of the NFL playoffs. First segment, Bengals, Chiefs on Sunday, and 49ers and Eagles. That's the first game Sunday.
Bill Busch coordinated the special teams at Nebraska. He coordinated the defense this year for the final 8 games. in those final 8 games, Nebraska ranked the equivalent of 25th nationally, giving up, I think it was 5.0 yards per play.
Yeah.
So he does understand the
He knows
complexities.
he knows about defense a little bit and complexities. Yes,
Yeah, the complexities.
We'll still stick with you on that, Sip.
Yeah. You're the expert. He's just here to
You know my background. I know your background.
If we get any sort of Golden Glove question today, you got them. Anything comes up with boxing, you handle it.
Speaking of that, real quick regarding the season, Bill, I'm curious. The season ends with a win against Iowa. No bowl game possible, but it was just, hey, can we end this disgusting losing streak to Iowa? You're up 24-zip. You guys held on to win by 7. What did that mean to you in terms of being the guy, the coordinator, to finally help snap that disgusting streak to Iowa? What did that day mean?
It was very important to me, but just because for the players, it was a pretty upside down situation to get put into, obviously with taking over being the defensive coordinator, but we just had such ridiculously great kids and how they prepared and what they did every week. Obviously they in my mind, they played extremely well. And then that game also played extremely well and did some good things. But the best way I could put it was, you have a pretty detailed plan of how you go on the road, what you do, where your meetings are at, what your walkthrough is like that next morning. It's one of our themes we always put up. We always have a plan to win on Friday night. And one of the plans to win is always that we'll have the best walkthrough ever tomorrow morning. And every day they did that. And so we're getting ready to play in that game. I've told people several times that I've been lucky enough to be in some really cool walkthroughs, getting ready to play for a national championship game on a couple occasions and different things. And our walkthrough that morning before that game was just as good as what it would be as playing in national. That's how good those kids were, how focused they were, what was going on. Because we had a lot of they ran a lot of empty, which means they had no backs in the backfield. We had a lot of checks for it. That's what we got a sack fumble off of that look, and we had all kinds of different things kind of in for them, but they did very unique, and our kids just handled it extremely well. And so just how they handled preparation throughout the game, how they were on the sidelines, and every aspect was just outstanding. So I'm just
Think about
lucky
that.
how humble I am to be in that spot.
Jacob, think about what you just said. I mean, the teams, what was the record? 3-8. 3-8 going in.
3-8 going in, yep.
2-6 in the league. Yeah, nothing. You're not playing for much. I mean, you're always playing for something, but not playing for much. I was playing for everything.
Playing for the division, yeah.
Yeah. And your walkthrough, so what defines in your mind a good walkthrough? Why was that walk? Why do you remember that walkthrough?
Well, there's a couple things that go on with it. First thing we'll do is kind of I use the term trash cans, and that is a line, this sign where we're stacked and we're going through all of our calls. Just boom, this, the different looks, different checks that have to happen, because you have to be able to, sometimes in defense, you just get them to play hard. That's great, but the offensive coordinators all make over $1 million. Yeah. They run really hard plays. Yeah. It's not very easy to stop them. So you have to get lined up to what's going on, situational football, with all those things. We have that. And then we have about a 14 or 16 play script that we have to get done. And at that time, there's no scout team. We're on the road. So during that walkthrough, we're servicing ourselves. Yeah. So now you got to try to get someone that's, that all of a sudden Nash is playing the right guard at times, or how we move them around, and we have all the plays on tablets, and so the kids can see the plays. Here's where that way, and then we'll be like, walk it, run it. And so most of the time it's usually your run fits. That's where you can get some things jacked up. But they would just handle everything like that. There was no talking, there was no extra noise, there was focus. They also knew it was going to be very crisp. I've done some of those walkthroughs before with certain coaches, and their theory is more is better, where we have to take a time out in the middle of the walkthrough for a break and then come back to it. And after a while, that just wears them down. So we had a very concise time frame with it.
Where was it?
What time wise?
No, where did you have it?
It could be anywhere. Usually it's in a parking lot.
Is that where you did in Iowa?
Iowa, I think we were inside. We were in a ballroom like that.
Ballroom at some hotel.
Yeah. So you find a spot that you can go to with that, because honestly, people say, you're just soft. You really don't want to do a walkthrough at 9 a.m. if it's 12 degrees. You'll lose your focus of what's going on at that time. So if you can find a spot where it's not that cold, because they'll play when they're supposed to like that. So
it was the morning of the game.
Yeah.
Was it the morning of the game?
Morning of the game. Yeah.
Was it? Because the game, what was that?
It's 3 o'clock.
Was 3 o'clock game?
3 o'clock kickoff. So it So, but it's the players. They're the ones that did it. They were outstanding. So the state of Nebraska should be proud just for the fact of how well they represented this state.
See, they got, and Bill, we don't got to go too far down this road. But me and Jake talk about all the time is Matt Rule walking into a reset or a rebuild. I always say reset, in part because there's, if you look at the depth chart, there's 10 guys or 11 guys back with starting experience. I mean, like a guy like Javin Wright only has one game, but it's one game. He'd be the 11th. There's guys, there's a lot of experience coming back on that defense. I mean, it shouldn't again, 25th nationally in yards per play given up, 25th nationally, top 25 defense in the final 8 games, top 25 pass defense in the final 8 games. Now it's against a division that doesn't pass it very well, but whatever. Shouldn't there be a level of expectation for those kids?
There should be, and there will be a level of expectation by those young men. And I think the new staff will do an outstanding job with them. I said that I don't know any of them, but I'm, like I said, you don't get to stand up in front of the media. You were there with me, Sip, and I had to speak every Wednesday different times and be like, I love this state. I love this program. I love everything about this. And now you're out and I don't love them anymore. This is crap. Not that I still love them, still be pulling for them. I think the new staff will do an outstanding job. Am I disappointed I'm still not there coaching? Absolutely. But I'm not bitter or upset with the new staff. And so I'm their biggest fan for 2 reasons, because I love the state. And then there's a lot of young men on that team that I'm very close with. So I'll be pulling for those guys really, really hard.
Nice.
I was curious. There was a couple things that it was noticeable when you took over for the defense. There was a player specifically, that Malcolm Hartsock. We didn't hear that. I didn't know that name when it was, the previous coordinator there and the other guys.
He's a freshman.
And all of a sudden, he's playing against Rutgers in Indiana, and has a big play. Returns a block punt for a touchdown against Indiana, has a pick against Rutgers, against Purdue. Where did that come from, and what did you do in such a short period of time to make the defense go from disastrous to really acceptable?
Well, there's a couple things with it. First, to address Malcolm is that he's just a playing Jesse. I mean, he just likes football. Nothing's too big for him. So I wanted to get him on the field right away. And Coach Fish agreed with me. I said, this guy, he's just hooked up right. And he is undersized, but he likes to play football. And he will put his face on you. He will tackle. And also he is engaged in everything that's going on. And in the Rutgers game, he got hit twice with big bodies, where they just big bodied him for big balls. And it was like
deep balls.
Me and Coach Fish had a little bit of a conversation, not like just like, what do you think? And like that. And we're both like, no, leave him in, play. He's a really good. So, and then in the end, he plays really well, makes a game-winning interception. So that part was a lot of fun. When the defense changed, it was a unique situation, because I've coached defense my entire life, but I wasn't in the defense at all. I was with the special teams. I had, addressed it a few times. If you need me to help coach on defense, I would, but they kind of had things set how they wanted to do it. And so I did that. So when Mickey had me, hey, we made a change and you're gonna be the defensive coordinator. Well, that's a pretty big deal when you haven't been in there. It's be kind of like me today, being like, hey, like I asked you earlier, should I run the board, Jake?
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not quite ready to run the board. And so we went in. I talked about a couple things. I said, we're going to make a lot of changes. I said, I'm going to learn the things that are the same in my mind. I'll learn your verbiage, so you're not going to change that, so I can make that carryover for the guys. I said, we're going to change to the defense that I know, because 2 things. Things hadn't been going real well for them. The kids were pretty distraught at that time. And then the next thing is that if it's broke, I didn't know how to fix it. Somebody else's calls or defensive different things. So we changed everything.
How'd you do that so quick?
That's amazing.
Just put in 4 or 5 calls, things that they've done before that kind of carried over. So we kept it, very simple. We kept growing as the season went along with that. But we went into the Indiana game. I think it helped us, because our plan to win against Indiana was they were the fastest running offense in the country. They were snapping the ball 8 to 9 seconds
right.
at. So it was. So I remember sitting down with the TV crew before that. They're like, I don't know what are you going to do with this, and they've been rolling pretty good, and especially moving the ball fast like that. They'd already beat Illinois. And I said, we're going to get lined up. And I said, that's our number one plan. We're going to get lined up. So we're going to have a call or no change of calls. And if they go fast, we're going to play the exact same call again. And so that allowed us throughout the entire game of not having, palms up where the whole team has that look.
Oh,
and
it's saw that.
And once that happens, the other teams, like it's just a bad feeling for everyone involved when you get palms up.
It's a bad feel for people in the crowd.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, and also like that. Then so our number one goal, we went 100% in that game of being lined up. We held them to 14 points in the game on defense. There was 21 scored, but one was on the other side. But because we got lined up, that was the reason for it. So I think that gave them some confidence. And then we'd put in a drop 8 cover 2, like on just out of the blue on Wednesday. I said, I think we need one more thing. Let's put this in. And it was a disguised look, and that was very big for us in the game. And then we had a couple of pressures.
Drop 8 cover 2.
And so we did a little bit of that, and then we talk about the importance of practice all the time. So we had a walkthrough that day. We took the buses over to the indoor, and we had this special pressure zone blitz. But if they lined up trips into the boundary, which I call FSL, so they line up here, we had to check to a trio check.
Getting over your skis a little bit.
Go ahead. So you had to have that. Well, the last play of the game was that exact thing came up. So our last thing we repped on the walkthrough was the last play of the game. We called the blitz. They lined up, trips into the boundary, and Luke Reimer made the correct check and knocked the ball down. And so that gets back to, but that's not me. That's good kids. Is what it is.
It's interesting though.
Making plays.
You say you had to keep it pretty simple, but again, you can't keep it too simple, right?
Oh, it's awesome. People say just keep it simple. Yeah. They're just lighting you up like that. Keep it simple against Joe Burrow, and he'll throw for 800 yards.
That's what I always say. I mean, I get it. And we do this in the media, Jake, where we say, I mean, they're just playing hard. They're getting hats to the ball. That's what you got to do. You got to get 3 hats, 4 hats, 5 hats. It's more complicated than that. I get it, but I can't.
There's a lot of complication too like that. But again, I said, I'm just so lucky to get a chance to coach those guys. But I'll tell you what, those are great young men. You see them walking around like that, pat them on the back because they went through some stuff and they were outstanding. So go Big Red.
Yep.
All right.
And Casey was outstanding too, by the way.
He was good.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we will. Song of the day is next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you tired of the same old entertainment option? How about something that's truly fun for both kids and adults? Nebraska Knockerball, the new place to go for your private and corporate parties. Step inside one of their inflatable spears and let out stress in a healthy form of exercise. Or try the human foosball, foot darts, yard pong, giant beer pong, basketball, and much more. Nebraska Knockerball, specializing in physical, engaging fun. Call Nebraska Knockerball today at 402-460-8724 or book a reservation now.
A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Heartland International in Lincoln reminds us, people today are facing more hardships than ever before. It's becoming all too common to hear that someone has become so desperate they've taken their own life. People almost always warn those close to them that desperation is be a shoulder to lean on and assist, seek professional help. This message from Dennis and Penny Nunn at Heartland International in Lincoln. Products since 1974. Visit heartlandinternational.com. We're stronger when we help one another.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
If
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
he stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day. Early break. 93.7 The Ticket and the Ticket.
What you got is so sweet. You gotta make it hot. Like a boomerang, I need a repeat. Give me all your loving, all your hugs and kisses too. Give me all your loving, don't let up until we You gotta whip it up.
Song of the day, Give Me All Your Lovin' by ZZ Top. 464-5685. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the starter and song of the day.
You let it go to your head. Give me all your loving, all your hugs and kisses too. Give me all your loving, don't let up until we're through.
All right, once again, your song of the day, Give Me All Your Lovin' by ZZ Top. 464-5685. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the starter Heyman Jewelers song of the day.
You have a busy weekend?
I watch football, so
Yeah,
no.
You didn't put a lot into your song of the day.
Didn't. Good song, though.
It is pretty good. It didn't not much imagination, so that's low. You'll get docked for that. I don't think you've played it.
I don't think I have either. See,
Amazing.
that's why you can't criticize that much.
7.5 years, Bill, the show's been going.
Yep.
I don't think you've played that ZZ.
I played Z Top. I don't think I played that one before, though.
A little more thought tomorrow.
There's plenty of thought in that one. It's a good song. I haven't played it. It's a good song I haven't played.
It's a good song. Oh, it's a good score. What salvages it, or what really makes the song to me is that boom, boom.
What was that?
Do it again. Do it again one more time. And make the same face.
I couldn't hear you
It was
clearly.
very awkward. The whole moment got really awkward right there when you did that. 'Cause I don't know what that was. So do it
Guitar.
again.
It was the guitar.
That was not a guitar.
Boom.
That's not a guitar. It's not. You in someone's garage? Where is this?
Didn't you heard that?
I don't know what sound that was.
I
but
don't
it was
know.
the guitar, though.
And I had to see it. That was the worst part about it. If I was just driving, I didn't have to see it.
It's okay if you don't have to see it. Now, so I'll give that, Jake, 7.8.
It's a pretty good rating for giving me crap for it.
I wasn't really giving.
You said
we're
try
frank with each
harder
other.
tomorrow.
See, here's the thing, Bill.
See, when he says that, it means it's probably a 4 or 5. 7.8 is a very good score.
Yeah, solid score.
Bill.
I'm going 7-4.
Okay. Bill Busch is with us, by the way.
Yes, Bill Busch.
7-4. Again,
explain
you
why.
could tell it wasn't well thought through for the song. There's no doubt about that.
Double whammy
that
there.
came up just that was as easy as it can get. But you're always just the band itself. Just when you just say ZZ Top,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. Because if all of a sudden, you're like at Buck's Bar or something and ZZ Top's playing, you'd be excited to be there.
Yeah.
That's how I look at people like that. So so I'm 7-4. Feel good about it.
Yeah, in the sevens is good.
It's a good song.
It's
a great
how
riff.
Can you just like that
That
song?
riff,
especially the one you just did again.
Yeah, that riff that I showed you guys.
Third time's a charm. Try it again.
That was outstanding.
That was the worst.
That was the worst. That was more like a ukulele.
What was that?
All right, go ahead. Text line.
You've
ignored the text line.
We've been busy today. 5.6 from Alan. John says 5.7 also. Man, a bunch of fives here. 9.1. John Des Moines.
Yeah, what's
4.
he? John gives it a 4.
Yep.
See, John is a regular and he's a rock and roll aficionado. He only gave that a 4.
8 from Kevin in Colorado. Let's see. David 7.5. Houston 6.
Houston.
Nothing really. Nolan in Florida 8.5. Cody and Carney a 7.4. Jennifer 8.9. Hubby a 7.5.
Okay, Jennifer and Hubby are out at Capitol Beach now. They might be. Where were they?
I think they're still in Arizona. They come back, I believe, on Thursday. They said.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're our Capitol Beach crew.
Yep.
But they're vacationing in Arizona.
Yes.
Okay. Good job.
Thank you. It was a nice score for you.
Yeah, it's nice.
7.4.
Like I said, for someone that didn't put any work into it whatsoever, you got a nice score.
You get
That was
lucky
nice.
once in a while.
I'll try to jump into it. I'll bring a couple songs in.
Yeah, please do.
I don't want you to
from the Kiss Army.
From the Kiss, yeah, exactly.
I don't want you to overthink it either. So I don't want to do that to you. But it's easy. Top. Give me all your loving. I mean, come on.
Before we get well, you know what? I can't win them all.
All right, go
but
ahead.
at least I got good scores,
Yeah,
though.
you did.
I'm going to play Legal ID, then we'll get to a phone call real quick. Hang on.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, we have a phone call from Jerry who wants to chime in on the show.
All right.
Ready to get this? Jerry would like to know, I guess Jerry can ask the question. Jerry, you're on early break. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, first of all, Coach Busch, heck of a job. I'm proud of what you came into a situation that was a mess and straightened it out. And as a Nebraska guy, you always want other Nebraska guys to succeed, and you certainly did. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. Very kind words.
Yep. And my question is, you've worked with a lot of different guys across the country. I'd be curious, with all the people that you've had contact with and have worked either with or for, who would be your top? It's not probably an easy question, but who would be your top 3 or 4 people that you either learned the most from, were impressed by how they handled the situation they were in, or just, their leadership and knowledge in general?
Oh, I appreciate the question. I just hit the lottery by being at the right place at the right time and working for several Hall of Famers. I started off my career out at which I refuse to call, it's Kearney State, with Claire Boroff, and he was outstanding. Then I ended up having a chance to work for Tom Osborne. I got a chance to work for Barry Alvarez, which was outstanding. I had a chance to work with Ed Ogeron, Urban Meyer twice.
God.
And so I've got quite a list of people that I was able to work with. And the best way to answer that, Jerry, is you can't grasp one thing from one person. I will kind of run down with Coach Osborne was consistency. Every day was the same. He didn't have to go through ups and downs. It was a very simple plan of who was in charge and how things were going to be done at the program. And there was total alignment from top to bottom, total alignment from Boyd Epley through Tom Osborne, through training staff, through assistant coaches. So his consistency was what stood out, and I learned how to be consistent through him. The person that I learned, Coach, the most about was Barry Alvarez. But his biggest strength was how to monitor the team. He always knew when to push, when to back off, when they needed to get a butt chew, and when they needed how to get them ready to play in a bowl game. All those things. He was probably the most dynamic up in front of the team when Barry got in front of the team, you wanted to be there. He was really good, and it was still about old school toughness, and that's how we built that program and been around a lot of people. So I learned so much from him. I talked to Barry about a week ago, and so I keep in touch with him. I talk to Coach Osborne at least once a month. So that was a lot. From Urban Meyer was compete. Now they all had that same thing, but that was his thing I learned the most from was every day was a competition. Every day in practice was a competition. We kept score in practice. There was winners and losers every day. And so that was a heavy thing right there. And also recruiting, how important it was to get good players with Urban, and had a lot of great recruiting stories I had with him, obviously. And then with Coach Ogeron, I learned from him that every day you woke up, it was 4th and 1. Every day was 4th and 1.
4th and 1.
There was no 2nd and 3s. There was no it was 4th and 1 every day at 5:59 a.m. every day. He would come out of his office like that. He'd come down the hallway. He'd be saying, "Hold that tiger." He'd come down there. He'd be saying that. He was coming to find out who was at work. Wow. That's what he was coming to find out, who was already there and what was done. 5:59 for us right there. So that was when he came to find out what was, and it was 4th and 1 every day. There was never a time if the staff meeting was at 8. You were in place at 7:46. Big eyes and big chest, and you don't roll in late. You have yourself ready to go. So every day was 4th and 1, whether it be coaching, recruiting, that practice for that day. And so I was able to work through with all these people to be able to get that done, which was just outstanding. So I've caught a lot of breaks to be around a lot of really good people, and I hope I picked up enough from them. I do keep in touch with all of them to this day.
Jake, 4th and 1.
4th and 1.
Are we 4th and 1 every day?
I think
we are.
Yeah, we try.
Don't say most days.
We try to be 4th.
We were more 2nd and 7 when I first got here this morning.
Yeah.
Well, because you weren't here like that. And then yeah,
I was here.
You were here. Yeah, you were 4th and
But
1. You were 4th
hold on.
and 1.
When I entered the building, it felt like 4th and 1.
We had to reset. Is what happened. We had to reset like that.
Yeah, it happens. Top of the hour next. We want to ask Bill about, is this a reset or a rebuild going forward for Nebraska? Also, I do want to ask about the transfer portal. We didn't get to that. More next, top of the hour on Early Break in the Ticket.
Come see the state's largest display of John Deere equipment at Acres Ag and Turf Expo. Acres professionals and suppliers will be on hand to discuss techniques from tilting to application. Don't miss a full lineup of John and compact tractors. Join us at Grand Island Fauner Park, February 21st and 22nd, or the Lincoln Lancaster Event Center, March 8th and 9th. Go to acres.com to request your free tickets today.
Every child has the ability to be successful and thrive in life. But Big Brothers Big Sisters can exist to help children unlock their potential and make meaningful matches between adult volunteers and young people. There are children just waiting for a mentor to step up and make an impact in their life. Learn more at BB Lincoln. There are children right now in Lincoln waiting to get started. Volunteer today and start something big.
Bagels and Joe is celebrating 30 years of business. With 4 Lincoln locations and 1 in Seward, there's more on your favorite breakfast spot in town. And don't forget the Joe card for unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per person per month. Bagels and Joe, celebrating 30 years of serving Lincoln and the surrounding areas.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative. And call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
This is Sam Griesel from the Nebraska men's basketball team. I'm here to tell you about my favorite men's store in Nebraska. That's Gary Michaels Clothiers in Lincoln. When I went off to college, I purchased my suit from them, another when I attended Big Ten Media Day. Their fashion sense, clothing knowledge, tailoring is unparalleled. Is it better than Gary Village Gardens, 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln?
A new year means new goals and upgrading, but that doesn't only apply to health and fitness. Mullen Motors can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2023 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2022 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose from to make sure you get to where you need to be this year. Out with the old and in with the new. Stop by Mullen Motors today, just north of 48th and Lake.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Sip Ball. This is Early Break with Jake Sorensen.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Monday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. Fun show so far. You get the podcast at theticketfm.com. You can always watch and comment on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Call and text 464-5685. The show is always sponsored by Gaina Trucking. We've enjoyed having Coach Bill Busch with us for the entire show so far. If you have any questions for Bill, please call or text 464-5685. Good stories.
Fun show. It's going fast.
It has gone.
Let's get right to it, Jake.
We'll get right to it. We'll get right. You're right.
Yeah.
Did you coffee over there?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm fired up.
Okay. All right.
It's 4th and 1, baby.
It's 4th and 1. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Ed Ogeron would be very proud of you.
Yeah.
He's proud of you. Yes.
I'm good with 4th and 1.
Yeah.
I get tired around midday. I'd have to have a talk with Ed. Hey, about 2 o'clock, I kind of wind down.
That wouldn't go over well. That would not.
That's
go
not
over
4th and 1.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wind down for the day, but I need a little time to regroup.
That's right. I can deal with that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we never got your.
I'm 56.
Well, so is Bill.
Yeah.
You look the same age.
You look 55.
Does he look younger or older?
I don't want to comment on that.
Just go ahead.
He looks younger.
Absolutely.
Of course he does.
You got the gray, you're giving the gray hairs in the face. He's fresh shaven there, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be fresh shaven going forward.
Is that right? Tomorrow you shave it all off?
No, I said I'm not going to.
Oh,
I'm letting it go.
You. You're going to keep it this way. Like, I got you. We never got your thoughts. I was going to get to the first hour. We got over it there, but I'm curious.
Okay.
The transfer portal. So that you thought, Sip, it's been around since 2018.
Well, I mean, it
hasn't been.
The legislation went into effect in 2018. The one-time transfer went into effect in 2021. So Bill didn't deal with it at LSU.
Correct. So now that the portal is in play, it is a one-time transfer. You can go from one school to the next for free, not and play no problems the next year. What is your stance on that? And has it changed since it started to now?
Oh, it's changed. So the best way to put it is 30 plus years of Division I coaching. Everything usually changed about 4% a year. And so there'd be a little tweak when you went out in May, or some little tweak as far as
to recruit
what camp would be like, or something was different. 4% every year for 30 years. And then about in 2020, 21 right there, it changed 80% in 1 year. That's a big deal. That's a lot. That's a lot. Just so you guys just crunch the numbers up. 80. When you threw together the combination of transfer portal and NIL at the same time, that's where things just jumped ridiculous, because you have the ability to transfer, and then also there's going to be money involved, where before it was just transfer. So now you have two scenarios going on. First thing with the portal is that I still believe the product on the field for football is a lot of fun to watch. I think it's been very good to watch. So I think that part of it is still good. It's not that we've not diminished the on field. When you turn the TV on, the numbers are still great. People are watching it, so that part is still very good.
I think so.
But with the portal, obviously, is that it doubles what you need a little bit more in office for how you're going to have your recruiting staff for what you're doing through monitoring freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors, and portal people, who's going to be going into the portal. So that's a big thing to see who's available. How when they can be contacted. There's always these conversations you hear on tampering, which whatever you can there, that's just gonna, I'm saying the word happen. That's just the way life is. I don't know why you'd be upset about that for the fact of that so-and-so reached out to so-and-so's high school coach. All of a sudden it's like, hey, just let Johnny know if he wants to leave school A at school B, we have a place for him like that. So in general, that coach / whoever it is will probably let them know, just so you know. And then they might just come back with
that's happening rampant.
And they can easily come back with, oh, appreciate that. No way. I love it here. And that's the end of it. But there's always those things you have to deal with in that area. And then things happen very quickly in the portal when they go in and how fast they can come out. But remember, you're only dealing with, they say 20%. I think it's a little less than that. That's all you're dealing with. When there's 2,000 people in the portal, you're not dealing with 2,000 people. There's only 20% that are like, hey, that's an asset. Okay. We need him like that. It said right now only 20% of the people have found other homes that went to the portal. There's a lot of people went in, ill-advised in the portal. I think it's kind of like one of those things. It's like maybe you're on like Tinder or something, and you're hoping that swiping, and you're hoping it works out. Like, hey, I'm going to jump on here, and maybe somebody really cool hits me up. Then all of a sudden, no one hits you up. Then you're just sitting there because once you go in the portal, you're off the books for that school. Right? They can bring you back, but they don't have to bring you back. And so the moving parts are very intense in the whole thing, and how you're going to recruit it, how you're going to manage your own team is very important. How you manage your team. Sometimes everyone's going to coach the same. That's how the real coach is. You're just going to coach. I'm going to coach the same. I'm going to do my job. And if somebody doesn't, I can't walk around on eggshells all the time because Johnny may be upset, that he didn't get enough touches in this game, so he may go in the portal. You just do your stuff. That's what good staffs do. That's what the staff here at Nebraska will do. They'll just do their stuff, but they'll have a plan for it, for how do you upgrade your team. But it does help you a lot when all of a sudden it's like, hey, what's your biggest need? It's like the NFL. We need a pass rusher, we need a guard, and we need a safety. Well, right away, that's what you're looking for in that spot in the portal. So it's very difficult. There's a lot of work to it. And eventually there'll be some sort of a crash to it. They'll be able to monitor things a little bit better. As 5 years from now, we won't be having the exact same conversation with what's going on with it. So it's a lot of work. I think it's been good for Nebraska. I haven't monitored who they brought in this year with them, but I'm sure they're doing a great job with that. But it's a lot of work.
You think it's going to crash though? In some capacity.
There's going to be some way to monitor it better. It won't be the same. So there's going to be some sort of a
monitor. What part?
The crash is probably going to be more on the NIL side, because it just won't just keep going like this. Eventually, there's going to be a time when it's just like the people are going to figure out we have invested a lot of money in bad players. That's going to come up. They're going to be just like there's money invested, and sometimes there's you got to expect losses in big operations. That always happens.
That was our discussion early on. But hey, this is going to be some money that people are going to feel bad that they did that because it didn't pan out well for them. Are they going to keep paying that type of money?
So eventually, that's where I say crash. It's more the combination of portal and NIL together.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, people, if you have a lot of money, you might be inclined to always invest in the next round of hope. All right. Didn't work last time, but I only got a limited amount of time on this earth. I'm going to try it again. They need a pass rusher. The last one didn't work out as well as we wanted, or the last center, whatever position. But you know what? I got a lot of money, and I'm going to keep it going. I want Nebraska to be good.
That'll continue on.
It will.
You're not going to run into a deal where all of a sudden 2 years now like that didn't work. We're done with that NIL crap.
Somebody might.
There
might be isolated incidents like that.
But you're gonna stay with it.
Yeah.
What happens is you don't get to do your research quite as hard with portal because it
happens as a coach.
Because all of a sudden it could be, hey, John from Kent State just got in the portal. And all of a sudden, you got to know everything. You know he's even going in the portal. And all of a sudden, it's like you're trying to get him on a trip on Friday. He went in on Monday.
And you know nothing about him.
You know nothing about him, and you're trying to find out. So all of a sudden, you can have some character flaws potentially because of the amount of time. When it used to be, you'd start recruiting someone as a sophomore all the way on, and you knew when you walk into a house with Ed Ogeron, like, hey, when you just to the right, there's going to be a cabinet over there. See where all the awards are going to be. Make sure you talk to Aunt Jessie about this and do this, and here's what we're going to have for food, and this is important. We do this and that. That doesn't come up in this situation. Everything just goes full speed, really fast in a lot of situations, and so that makes it very tough on how well you know those people. And then it's like social media, Facebook. Everybody's just a few degrees of separation. Mm-hmm. So as soon as a name comes up, there's always somebody in the staff. I know somebody on that staff. I know somebody, and I'll get a hold of so and so.
DM.
And so you can get a hold of someone, but everyone else is getting a hold of someone else too. So when you see it and you go, oh, that's exciting. Well, guess what? There's another 100 people that think it's exciting too. Yeah. And so it's like when it comes up, there's a lot of stuff going on at one time.
That's why Jake and I have talked about the need maybe for a full-time portal part of the recruiting operations, that someone paid to handle the portal.
Oh, that's already happening.
Is it?
That's everywhere. It's very much just like an NFL board of like, who are the free agents that are up, and we're tracking them, how they played throughout the year. Now but you also know in contract years, when the year starts in the NFL, who's up as a free agent at the end of the year, or what's going to happen, who's going to be available. Here, you don't know. Yeah. You have no idea. And then what's got to be, if I was coaching at a lower level and maybe a group of 5 school or at a FCS school, I would recruit players and say, listen, if you come here to the University of Montana and you play really well, I will help you get to someplace else. Because if you don't think like that, you're crazy. Because if they play well, someone's coming after them. Yeah. So if you have like a freshman All-American kick returner at Toledo, someone's going to notice it.
Would that be unappealing to coach at Toledo now? Then I mean, that's what I always think. Like,
keep getting but my point is,
because your best players are going to get rated all the time,
so you have to adjust. It's just like the assistant coaches and head coaches right now, and recruiting departments. You have to adjust the portal. It's easy to say, I don't like this.
No, you got.
I want to be at old school. I want it to be like it used to be. Well, it's not like it used to be.
Right. Move on.
And it'd be kind of like I don't like to text recruits. I just want to talk to them on the phone. Well, text is the number one way of communication. So figure it out and adapt. Yeah. So you got to adapt really fast. So that's what's going on with the adaptation. And then at those schools, you got also don't get all bent out of shape if the guy's leaving. You just got to move on. And you got to find your niche. You might find yourself a portal person too. But if you get yourself so caught up in trying to hold on to someone like that maybe someone's coming after, then that can just drive you nuts.
Well, I also think in some capacities, the portal, although it drives me and Sip crazy at times, it can be a blessing in disguise. Because if you see guys on your roster that aren't playing and they know they want to go elsewhere, it helps you kind of rid of them and get new guys in to replace them, right? Is that a one perk that you would say or not?
Yeah, it's handled different by every university, how it operates with someone that needs to, like I said, they're getting no playing time. Their options now are very clear. They can now leave easily and still not have to worry about sitting out a year. So that's an option for them. Different places handle it differently with how the conversations go. I know myself, if I felt someone was never going to play for you at that school, and they'd had a lot of opportunities to play, I would let them know the situation, like, your scholarship is good, everything is good here. Just so you know, though, when we get to camp, you're not going to get reps.
Ooh.
You're not, because we moved, so they know where they stand. Where sometimes some kids would just be like, yeah, I'll just hang out.
That's a hard conversation.
Yeah, but now if you have a conversation, they can be up, well, I'll have to go somewhere like that. But wouldn't you rather be told that than all of a sudden like that? Then all of a sudden you come and camp starts, and except you tell them, hey, we've been through spring ball, you've had some reps, we got freshmen coming in, we're going to look at them in camp when they come in, because of just kind of that's our evaluation of them like that. So not every, and it's 53-man roster in the NFL, and we travel 76 people to a game. And the roster's in the 130s.
So you're not going to get reps for everybody.
No, it's impossible to be able to do that. And so That's why you hope you have then you have some LRPs, some limited role players that can also have some things that they can do very well, and that might be cover kickoffs, be on the punt team, do some things in special teams, and then be good enough to be that your fifth safety or something on the team that has value to it. So you're always trying to figure out what is your value with them.
All right, good stuff. 464-5685, call or text as always. We do have a phone call.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Peyton has been patiently waiting. Peyton, you're on an early break. Go ahead.
How you guys doing? I love the show.
Thank you, Peyton.
Peyton, do you like the show better with me or without me?
Oh, God, don't do that.
Yeah. Let me help you gentlemen again. This has happened to me twice. I don't know if it's my voice. The accent from Tennessee, but it's Tavy. T-A-V-Y.
Oh, Tavy.
Jeez.
Okay, well,
with the T. We got it now.
This happened last week, too.
Tavy?
Apologies. Yeah, Tavy.
All right.
Hey, that's okay. I love the show. Bill Busch, I want to tell you I love you, man. You're a great coach. You put a lot of relevance into the season last year. I don't know how you did it. It's just your great wisdom. But I want to ask you a question. And when you first got to Nebraska, like not your very first time, but your time under Frost, when you got there, I just want to ask you a question. When you came on, you know how you start a new job and you start to see some flaws on the new job that you could probably correct? I just want to know maybe 2 or 3 flaws that you've seen, and I'm going to leave you guys alone. God bless, and go Big Red.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Tavy.
Appreciate that. You know, when you come in and have a chance to work, obviously I was very blessed that Coach Frost gave me the opportunity to come and have a chance to coach at Nebraska, my third, and really enjoyed that. I think you take a broad overview of everything. You try to take things that you might be able to add to them. I'm always big on anything that might come up that might be an addition. We always want to go through the proper channels of how you communicate that and what's discussed with it. So if there was anything that I saw that I thought could be improved on, and I felt the same way towards myself, if there was people that saw things, whether with the special teams or with the defense, I would hope someone would address it or bring it up to me. And so there were some things that that we talked about that we thought maybe we could do a little bit better with. And those changes were adapted pretty fast. I think it helped a bunch having a true special teams coordinator on the field. That was one of the adjustments that were made, and that went much better this year. And there was little things that come up all the time. There wasn't anything that really jumped out that like this is appalling. This needs to be changed. I'm talking to the staff about this. Coach Frost had a very good staff. They were doing a very good job. And so I'd always try to add things in from, I just say I got so lucky to be around this group of coaches. Like I talked about, it's, I think 3 slam dunk Hall of Famers and a couple others that probably will. And I throw Kyle Whittingham in there too, who's one of the top five coaches in college coaching, who I worked with him for numerous years also when he was a coordinator and I was his secondary coach. And so I'd always bring things to the table that we did but they always had to fall in line with what we were already somewhat doing. You just don't come out of left field and just, all of a sudden it's going to be, we need to come in and give a huge presentation to the team about, we need to go wishbone. And here it is. And I'm going to bring up, this is Thomas Lott. Check it out. Billy Sims. We pitch it to him. This is good stuff, guys. Yeah. Like that. That's not in line with what was going on. So you don't bring up just off the wall stuff that's just crazy. But if you have little things you can bring up to add in like that, it's always good. And here is the best way to do it. I learned this from a brilliant coach that I'd worked for, and it was like, anytime you brought something up, you better have researched it. Yeah. Don't just be there and go like, I got an idea, and you throw it out, because they would ask me, have you researched it? Well, if you had, no matter what you brought up, it was well respected and listened to, and just say, and here's why. Because I've talked to this coach, and here is what the science says, and here's what this says. And it might fly or not, but you better have it researched.
Can't just be a gut feel.
A gut feel like this. So every time that I brought something up, I had well thought through what it would be. I'd always think through what the rebuttal would probably be if it wasn't accepted, of the why it wasn't, and have a chance to discuss also with this. And then at the same time, then if it didn't fly, move on. It's not something you'll be like, well, we'll revisit this tomorrow morning at that staff meeting. I'll bring it up again. That just kind of move on and go your own way.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's really easy for a coach or anybody in this world to quickly identify why something won't work. I mean, I always think, let's talk about why it will work. Why do we always got to go why it won't work? why it will work is what I want to hear about.
Body language.
Positive pan over here.
Body
That's
language is such a premier thing with me. We started every meeting in special teams with slant. When I walked in, there'd be 90 guys in there. So
slant.
We'd hit slant, and we hit slant real quick with that, and be sit up, lean forward, act interested, nod your head, track the speaker. So how you sit and how you do is something that we would. So body language bother me. Same. So if you're in a meeting, sometimes you go, "I'd like to present something," and all of a sudden you see like 3 guys like roll their eyes and like that, and then right away you're just
slump.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I don't know what
it's early in the morning though.
Yeah, so that would always.
What time your meeting?
That would always disgust me like that. Sometimes there'd be different times. It depends on what staff you're on. We practiced here early in the morning, so we were more of an afternoon staff here. Most staffs are 7. I know Nick Saban is 7:30. Some are 7. Some are LSU was 8. It was
8 a.m.
8 a.m. started at 7:44. 4th and 1.
7:44.
4th and 1.
Yeah, maybe I need to get here earlier.
4th and 1.
Yeah. I don't know. It's fine.
What's 4th and 1 when whenever you get here?
I think we operate 4th and 1 most of the time.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. It's very rare we're not 4th and 1 on this show. At least I hope so. Hope to think that. Before we get to break, actually we get to break right now. How about that?
Okay.
I want to talk basketball, but I also have some more football questions for Coach.
Okay. Like, what do you have?
Well, we didn't get into
Prime
next. Well, we can talk Prime. Yeah, I want to talk Deion Sanders for sure.
Outstanding.
Coach Prime.
And then we didn't get fully into if this is a rebuild or a reset for Nebraska next season.
Hit those 2 things.
All right, we'll do that next. More with Coach Busch here on Early Break on the Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Vershawn Jackson, the captain here, for the Body Shop. And man, did they hook the group massage recently? This life, as many people do. And for 1 hour, it was all relief. The team at the Body Shop gave me a deep tissue massage that hit every area that I was in pain at. Whether you're looking for a Swedish massage, sports massage, deep tissue, hot stone, aroma, or more, there's only one place to go. The Body Shop at 48th NA. Book an appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Bagels and Joe is celebrating 30 years of business this year. With 4 Lincoln locations and 1 in Seward, there's more options for your favorite breakfast spot in town. And don't forget the Joe card for unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per person per month. Bagels and Joe, celebrating 30 years of serving Lincoln and the surrounding areas.
Every child has the ability to be successful and thrive in life, but sometimes they need your help. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Lincoln exist to help children unlock their potential by making meaningful matches between adult volunteers and young people. Right now, there are children just waiting for a mentor to step up and make an impact in their lives. Learn more online at bbbslincoln.org. There are children and kids right now in Lincoln waiting to get started. Volunteer today and start something big.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Patchy areas of fog this morning, then a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon as we'll see a high of around 35. Winds out of the west-northwest at 10 to 15. Patchy areas of fog again tonight, a low down to 22. We'll see partly cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of around 33. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of the same old entertainment options? How about something that's truly fun for both kids and adults? Nebraska Knockerball, the new place to go for your private and corporate parties. Step inside one of their inflatable spears and let out stress in a healthy form of exercise. Or try the human foosball, foot darts, yard pong, giant beer pong, basketball Connect 4, and much more. Nebraska Knockerball, specializing in physical, engaging fun. Call Nebraska Knockerball today at 402-460-8724 to learn more or book a reservation now.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. 93.7 The Ticket, them.com.
If you're just tuning in again, I had the full show here with Coach Bill Busch in studio. He'll be with us at the end, rest of the show as well. Any questions, 464-5685, call or text as always. All right, so there's a big story right now in college football that's taking precedence just to the west of us in Colorado. Deion Sanders, primetime, is the head coach of the Buffaloes, and he's bringing in some good recruits, but he's also sending a lot of videos that are making all the rounds of social media. Had a pretty successful tenure at Jackson State. Makes the jump to big boy Division I, Power 5 football. Do you think it will work? Like, what are your impressions of Deion Sanders as the head coach of Colorado? Will it work?
Well, always the thing you start off looking at is how can you obtain good players? That's if you have a chance to get players, your odds go way up. That's the number one thing you have to have. That's why recruiting is the most important thing you do every day. If you want a smart, tough, dependable, competitive team, recruit them. That's how you get them. It's not a deal like I've always said. You change kids about 10%, a little, but if you want those, recruit them. So if you have the ability to get talent in your building, which right now Coach Sanders does, so that gives him a chance right away. It's like, hey, which I do love that Coach Prime. I didn't mean disrespectful at all like that, but when you have when you're Prime, that's like Cher, Madonna. I mean, that's like
they call him Coach Prime.
That's like Elvis.
The media,
not Deion.
Coach Prime. But isn't that great though? When you're known for so you can say one word and they've got and you know who they are.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Oh, no, he's brought in right now. He's brought in more than 20 transfers from the portal. More than 20. Right now, Colorado, 24/7 Sports has Colorado's transfer class ranked third.
Okay,
Florida State 1,
pretty dang good.
Auburn 2, Prime 3, USC 4. I mean, he just flipped a corner, a 5-star corner. Cormani McClain, maybe Bill started him. Cormani McClain, the number 1 corner in the class of 23, flipped him from Miami. And the other corner, he got his other corner
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, good job,
from Jackson State.
Came from Jackson State, who he flipped from Florida State.
That's right.
Now you know he's going to have 2 good corners.
Of course.
Yeah, he's gonna
have some corners now.
Yeah, he has the ability to obtain talent, so that way he's got a chance. Also, what I saw from afar with his teams they were tough teams. He coached them hard. It wasn't fluff, and so they were a very well-coached team. He's got a really good staff. You just look through their
Brewster.
Yeah, you look through the people on his staff. They are veteran dudes.
Willie Taggart
And,
is an analyst.
I mean,
You got Willie Taggart as an analyst.
I don't think I knew that.
So
Willie
they have
Taggart's out there.
Willie Taggart is
As
an analyst. Yeah.
I feel he'll do very well. Because he has a chance he has really good coaches and he has a chance to get talent there. So that's the number one thing always. Like they said, you can coach them up a little bit. You can get them better. You can coach players you can get them. You can wreck players too. You can have a pretty good roster and just be miserable as a coach and make them miserable and not play well. But they said Belichick's still pretty smart. They haven't been near as good when the players aren't as good as what he had. And so the ability to get talent that he has, I think we'll do a very, very good job. And especially if they get on a little run of success. If they get on a little bit of run, you'll see a little bit of that. And then with the league they're in, one more year, and then USC and UCLA are now out of the league. That also evens the playing field a little bit more for him. So I think he'll do a very good job there. How they'll be in year one. Year one's always tough. There's a lot of moving parts going on, and so that's always a tough one for him. I thought, but I think he'll do a very good job.
The Sunday Seattle Times headline sports columnist,
which works perfect because it's a talk radio for sports. So once again, Simple ties it all together so well. Thank you.
This is the headline: Deion Sanders is making moves that could change the Pac-12's power structure. Meaning what Bill was talking about, UCLA, USC gone. Everybody thinks it would be Washington, Oregon. Okay, better watch Colorado. Now, this also could be no offense.
Is there a chance it blows up?
No offense. It could be a Frost situation. Frost, first college coaching job, head coaching job, UCF, went splendidly. Deion Sanders, this is only his second stop as a head coach. Jackson State went splendidly. They dominated the SWAC.
They did.
Dominated. But this is a whole nother world he's going into. It's not the Big Ten, though. That's the thing. It's not the Big Ten. Now, but is Prime real? Well, I mean, I'm not going to just automatically assume he's taking over the world right now. We'll see.
Their first two games are TCU and Nebraska.
Yeah, I actually looked at their schedule.
It's rough.
It's a rough one.
It's rough.
It starts
Colorado?
out. Colorado's got a rough
Nebraska.
schedule. Yeah, it's when you have when you go out of conference and you have a playoff team, and then you have the Huskers
runner-up.
like that. That's a lot for being out of conference in a league that you only play 9. So their one game, I'm not sure their other one was with, but it's a tough schedule. And we went through the whole thing. I thought there was talk that they were going to move the Arizona State game up to a 0, but
didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
It's not happening.
Gotcha.
It won't happen.
Did you veto that, Simple? Or
no.
Okay.
But I know it.
Because you were very firm about that.
Yeah,
I thought
no.
It's almost like
No, hold on.
I assure you, it's not.
No,
yeah.
No, I heard the talk. It's not happening, though. That game's not happening.
Which I kind of hoped it did, because it was fun to watch a game in week 0 like that.
With
Prime. That'd have been kind of fun to watch. But obviously, it's probably still an advantage for Nebraska for them not to play that, because you'd like to have them. They'll be playing them in their second game rather than their third game. Because you get out, and what happens is when everything's brand new, you don't think that it's like the warm-up diff, the game, everything is just, it takes a while to get yourself into a groove with what's going on. Now, it'll be well addressed by him, but first year, it's hard, especially when you're coming in all new. I've been before where I came in all new as a staff, or I came just like I did today, where this wasn't that hard because you guys were established. I had to be in the door. I had to fit into my 1/3. That was it. That's different than when you're coming in and doing if all of a sudden today all three of us walked in here together.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That'd be right now. We wouldn't. There'd be a lot of dead air.
No,
we wouldn't even know what. We wouldn't even know what.
With Jake, you don't have to worry about dead air.
Yeah.
Okay, now this leads us perfectly into Rule. First year of Matt Rule. Rebuild, reset. What should we expect? I mean, I always say this is a reset, not a rebuild, because the talent's not bad. Either side of the ball, especially on defense. 10 guys with starting experience returning. You got Boom Sheeny returning. You got Bleak Road returning. You went and got a kicker to compete with Bleak Road ostensibly. And then on offense, you got Casey coming back, Thompson, quarterback.
Jeff Sims coming in from Georgia
see
Tech.
if Jeff Sims can do something there. And you got 2 good running backs. I mean, you got a decent roster is what I'm saying. Reset or rebuild?
that's too hard for me because I'm not in the building. You know, when you're not in the building, I just don't know. I do know that when you have a starting quarterback returning, that Casey is coming off of a surgery but still back, and then I would understand that, so they got a really good quarterback from Georgia Tech in Sims, and they have offensive linemen returning. Your top 2 running backs are returning, and a lot of guys on defense. So I would think that you're in a pretty favorable situation. But again, when you're not in the building, I just don't want to jump in like I'm a Husker insider with that. But I know there's a lot of great kids and a lot of good talent and some even better people in that building. So I think that part will be really good for them. And I think that coaching staff will do a great job of blending the new with what was already established. And I think they're in a really good spot.
I'm going to say top 4 running backs because you got Gabe Irvin coming back. Well, you got Anthony Grant, A.J. Allen, Gabe Irvin, Ramir Johnson.
Solid.
Yeah. So I'd say better than solid. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, it's a good group to go. The people that have carried the ball in big time games. So so they have a lot of things that's a pretty good spot. But again, like I said, I'm not current with what's going on down there, and I don't know anyone, and I don't delve into that
no, you shouldn't.
to comment on that. But I do think they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I think it's always interesting to hear from a coach's perspective on how to handle expectations for the roster for the first year. You know, because Matt Rule is coming to different spots at Temple. Bad first year, Baylor bad first year, but then he gets it built up. Now, if people view this as a reset, not a rebuild, and saying they have talent, the expectation is, hey, we want to be better this year. You know, they went 4-8 last year. We thought the roster probably maybe underachieved at times, a rough start. Should have beat Northwestern in Ireland. You know, that's a rough loss for Nebraska. But how do you handle expectations that are put on you versus what you put on yourselves?
Well, I'll give you an example of when something like that took place in my career was we're at the University of Utah, and I was fortunate enough, Urban Meyer got hired and kept Kyle Whittingham as the defensive coordinator, and he tried to strike a deal for me to stay as a secondary coach, and Urban had somebody coming in, and so, but he did meet with me. So we met and we continued to talk for about an hour, and he just said, Bill, I got a guy getting on a plane in about 2 hours to come from Bowling Green to be the secondary coach. So we're full. And I said, I appreciate that. If you don't mind, I'll clean my office out after tonight, later when everyone's gone. So I brought that, leave the car, I'm going to shop at that, heading to Cottonwood Mall. And Kyle Whittingham calls me and says, hey, what are you doing? I'm driving to the mall. I say, he goes, turn around. Urban changed his mind. Wow. And so came back. He ended up keeping me, which was great. But one of our first staff meetings, he's kind of like, oh, well, how are we? And I'm like, we're the best in the league. He's like, Urban would always say, whoa. He goes, whoa. I go, oh yeah, we're loaded. And I said, this Alex Smith quarterback guy, he's really good.
Yep.
We got running backs. We got giant, we got offense and defensive linemen. I go, we're really good. And we won the league. So he came into a spot where it wasn't a rebuild whatsoever, and he did a great job with them. Also with the culture, he did a really good job with it. But and with our first recruiting trip we did, when we told him how good we were, was Alex was going to leave and go to Michigan State because John L. Smith's his uncle, and that's where he was going to transfer to.
Oh, John L. Smith style.
Yeah, so
John L. Smith's Alex uncle.
Yeah, so I said our first trips, we had 2 first trips. My first one was I took him back to Helix High School and to go see Alex and his family, and to keep him on the roster. He was already on the roster for a year. And then the next trip, I made him fly to American Samoa and get a couple of NFL D linemen out of there. So that was kind of fun.
Cool.
But that was it. That's an example of what the expectations were when we came in. We were not like ourselves. We're like, yeah, we're really good on defense. Like, how you guys?
So why was there a coaching change?
Didn't perform well enough. We ended up being 500
under McBride.
Lost, and also at that he was kind of he was back to had 1 year left on his contract.
Ron McBride.
And Ron McBride's the one who built Utah. Even Urban will say that he's the one who built the BYU rivalry. But anyway, so they decided to make a change, and I was fortunate enough to be able to stay on and be with Kyle, and me and Kyle talk, often. I always text him back and forth. But our expectations were really high. You
won 11 in Urban's first year.
I think we won 11. I think it was. Yeah,
was that right, Jake?
I played Pittsburgh in the bowl game.
What's that? No, that was the year before. The year after that. The BCS Buster was the year after. Okay. I think we won 11. We beat Southern Miss in the Liberty Bowl.
Okay,
like that. We beat. I'll give you a great story. It's not a great story. Just kind of a little funny one. We beat BYU 3-0, and to win the Mountain West like that. So after the game, I told Coach Meyer, I walked by him. I said, I told you if you just get us 3, we're good. He didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah, he probably was at the moment. Hey, I told you.
I'm gonna check how many you won in that first year.
Oh,
probably 10 or 11. Yeah.
Was it?
We lost a crazy game to New Mexico, which we shouldn't have lost, and we lost went for 2 against Texas A&M and lost 26-28. We went for 2 and didn't make it.
10-2.
Yeah,
10-2, 6-1 in the Mountain West. You won the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah, we went. I think it was the last. I think we went the last 6 quarters unscored on, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It was 17-zip against Southern Miss.
Yeah, that's what I said. So he came into really good players at that time. So that was a big plus. Then that always helps having a first pick in the draft.
Yeah,
NFL
Alex Smith helps a lot.
That helps. That makes you a lot.
Pretty
Makes you a lot
helpful,
smarter. It made us smarter on defense just having him for the stuff he could do.
Good quarterback. All right, let's play the game show. Bill Busch gets to be a lifeline for SIP. How about that?
Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, we're doing it right. Yeah, he's going to be a lifeline.
Okay, I got to get locked in.
464-5685. Your chance to win a business box of
Take some deep
bagels
breaths.
to Bagels and
You
Joe.
nervous?
I'm not at all. I'm not good at this. So this isn't.
Wait a second.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I would think you would be good.
No, he's buried in work all the time.
But he's
No. He's a defensive. He's a coordinator. He's a coach. Those guys don't pay attention to the
I
outside
don't pay
world.
attention to the outside world. I'm very free right now, so I feel my IQ really escalating.
Yeah,
All right,
Yeah,
there we
I
go.
feel it's going in the right
This
direction.
is trivia,
Yeah.
so it's not current events.
Yeah.
Well,
That's gonna hurt me.
Right.
today's topic is NFL player colleges. What schools did these NFL current players go to?
You name the player.
and you tell me the school.
Okay.
464-5685. Shut Up Simple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your... It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
All right, 464-5685. Call the Big Town Sip and Coach Busch here in Trivia. Shut Up Simple. Sponsored by Bagels and Joe.
Let's get locked in.
All right, here we go.
Bill will be a lifeline.
I'm there
one
for it.
question.
We have
if you want to use it. Josh. Okay, we got Josh in Lincoln. Josh, how do you feel about NFL player colleges today?
I'm ready to give Sip his first loss of the week.
All right.
Come on.
Aggressive.
I
All
like
right.
the aggression.
All right, Josh.
Okay, all right, let's do this.
Lock in. Coach, your lifeline for Sip.
I'm here
for
for
one
it.
question. Josh, first question goes to you. What school did Falcons running back / kick returner Cordero Patterson go to?
Tennessee.
Did you have that right?
No. Good job, Josh. Yeah, that's tough.
I think we got a loss coming here. I think Josh is going to win. This does not look good now.
Confidence.
Right now, he nailed that so fast.
You didn't coach
had-
like that.
yeah.
You didn't coach. You're a
It's
positive
fourth
coach.
and one, guys. Come
Fourth
on.
and one.
Fourth and one.
No,
Lock
no,
in.
you're a positive coach and listen to you.
I am positive. Go.
Wow, how about that? All right.
Are you
down,
locked?
down 1-0. Here's your first question.
I'm ready.
What school did Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco go to?
All right, the floor is yours, Bill Busch.
Rutgers.
Was he there when you were there?
He came in
Did
right
some-
when I was leaving.
Okay.
I should have known that, but
From
good
the
job.
banks. From
Hey,
the
he
banks.
had a good game.
He's very good
Yeah.
with the Chiefs.
He had 57 yards on that Chad Henne drive. Anything's possible.
Yes. And laugh at your own jokes. Just.
He had 57 yards rushing on that drive
He's a
alone.
good player.
Yeah.
Good find. Another good find by the Chiefs. All right. 1-1 tie for the lead. Josh, last question. What school did Steelers defensive tackle Cameron Hayward go to?
The Ohio State.
Oh, boy, you guys, you got a tough opponent.
All right.
Josh,
So, right?
you're in it. Yeah, but you're on your own now because Coach already got his question
Yeah.
right. So it's on.
I know how okay.
Oh, so I'm out. Lifeline's
Yeah,
done?
Lifeline's
Oh,
out.
that-
I only get one.
I'd like to have these rules written. I'd like to have this.
Oh.
I went over this last night, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There's always next time.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead. Yeah,
you're
go
on your own.
Yeah.
What school did Ravens tight end Mark Andrews go to?
ahead. Notre Dame. The Notre Dame.
Where'd he go, Bill? You know? You don't know? The game's over. He already lost.
Shoot, I remember where Andrews went.
Yeah, it's hard.
He went to Oklahoma. He's a
Oh,
Sooner.
Okay. Almost Notre Dame.
No, not really.
Wow.
Josh,
all in one.
Congrats with your Bengals. Thanks for calling in and calling down the road. Nice win today.
Thank you, Bill Busch. Thank you for being a Husker. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Josh. Great job. You nailed it. I called you were going to win this thing from I was 4 seconds into it, and it was over. So I appreciate you. Thanks for the kind words, Josh.
Yeah, good job, Josh.
Thank you.
Good stuff there. All right. That's it.
Hell to start the week's never good.
But you can't blame him because he still got your question.
No, I'm
Yeah. The bank.
Yeah, well, I should have known that because of
10.
the game. Yeah,
It's Big Ten.
You've seen him play.
You have seen him.
You've been in the stadium with him.
And
He was our
good.
starting.
He was good.
He was our starter. He's a draft pick, and you did the game. I have no idea. That's
He probably wrote his name in an actual column.
yeah. He's been Google that.
That's right. Steve Simple.
Right.
Isaiah Pacheco.
All right,
Just
you
go to
made the
Google.
point.
It's a search engine. Try it.
All right, now I'm curious. Who wants the tiebreak? You want this one or Bill?
Okay,
or
explain it to him.
So it's a number.
Okay.
And either one of you guys will go over or under the other
Okay.
person's guess. You want the?
I
put the
do.
number?
You want to
Okay.
put the number out?
I'll put the number out.
Okay. Sip, you go over.
Yeah.
Under. All right. How
Gives
many?
you the advantage, but go ahead.
Yeah, it does.
It
Of course.
does.
How many NFL players had 10 sacks or more this regular season?
32 teams, Bill.
14.
Okay, under 14, Sip.
32 teams. He said 14.
He said 14. It's an over or it's an under.
That's a really good number.
This is the easy part.
Think about this. Look at you can just
He
see
had the hard part.
You just
have
you
the
see
part.
things. Yeah.
I'm gonna say a little over.
19.
19.
It's a good number, though. Good number.
It was a good number.
Bosa led the league with 18 and a sacks. Reddick from Temple. Matt Rule's guy, number 2, 16 sacks.
Nick Bosa. Is that the Chargers Bosa or the?
That's the Niners.
Niners Bosa.
Joey has had some. They both had injury problems. Joey again this year had injury problems. He was back for the playoffs, but he didn't have quite the numbers of Nick. They're both very good though.
Right.
The Watt brothers are good. The Bosa brothers are good. Big Ten.
Joey
Big Ten.
thoroughly embarrassed himself in the playoff game.
With the helmet
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, it cost him. I mean, it cost him 1 yard on the go for 2.
Yep.
And all that big quarterback had to do was reach his arm over. That cost him. I was watching that game and I was thinking, if I was his teammate, I'd be into him. I mean,
Well, he called out the refs and he got fined by the ref. By
Should have got-
$60,000.
he really got into the
which
ref,
is
yeah.
nothing. It's $1 to him basically. But
yeah, I became sort of anti Joey Bosa at that point. He cost him.
It probably wasn't a great move, but I wouldn't be anti with him. I wouldn't go with that.
you want him on your team. Sip, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
If you
you're not
get,
anti like that. Should he have made?
No, I'm anti.
Should he have made a better decision at the time? Probably. Like that. It's like that.
It was a conscious decision.
My wife tells me that daily. I can make better decisions.
It was a conscious
than that.
decision
Yes.
to slam your helmet on the ground.
yeah,
and
he
cost him.
got pissed.
Yeah.
He's an emotional player.
Oh yeah, just
He's
dismiss
a very good player. I'm saying if he was on your team, you'd want him on your team.
He'd be on the
Bosa's
bench for
great.
the first half of the next game.
But if you're the coach, then
Absolutely not.
When you're down by 17, then
Absolutely not.
you'll regret. All right, the spillover is next with Raph AD and Bill Busch on early break of the ticket.
At first, really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yeah.
I love my ring. It is my ring. I get on a time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island, Heyman.com.
This is Sam Griesel from the Nebraska men's basketball team. I'm here to tell you about my favorite men's store in Nebraska, and that's Gary Michaels Clothiers in Lincoln. When I went off to college, I purchased my suit from them and another when I attended Big Ten Media Day. Their fashion sense, clothing knowledge, and tailoring is unparalleled. Simply said, no one does it better than Gary Michaels Clothiers, located in Village Gardens, 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you could earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 Street. From top shelf wine for budget. Join our loyalty. Earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Patchy areas of fog this morning, then a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon. We'll see a high of around 35. Winds out of the west-northwest at 10 to 15. Patchy areas of fog again tonight, a low down to 22. We'll see partly cloudy skies tomorrow with a high of around 33. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, time for the spillover. Bill Busch remains with us. We got AD. Everybody's
Ralph's waiting in the wings.
Yeah, everybody's in the building here. I love it.
Yeah, we got a full
a
lot of people.
It gets packed in the studio sometimes. It's the way it is. AD, good
Just
morning.
remember who's the boss, though.
Yes, Jake. Absolutely, Jake's the boss.
Yeah, it's good to have everybody here.
Are you the boss?
I tend to be at times, yeah.
I tend to be at times.
Well,
That's not
I run
exactly
the board,
strong
I make
leadership.
the buttons happen.
Yeah,
it's the way it is.
If I'm going to ask you that, though, I want a stronger answer. Not I tend to be at times.
It's a kind answer. It's a humble answer.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of humility.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, gentlemen, AD, good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Did you enjoy the NFL games this weekend?
I did. There were some good. Well, besides the Giants Philly game, that was horrible for a viewer. But if you're an Eagles fan, you're very excited.
Did you guys
about it.
check out of it quick?
Yeah.
Did you?
I think the Giants
did.
checked out of it quick. I think they checked out too.
Yeah, it was a bad game. You want all those games to be good. You know, you this is the divisional round. It's supposed to be the best 8 teams in football, and one team gets beat 38-7. It's just not supposed to be like that. You know what feels bad about that is the Vikings. The Vikings feel like, wow, we lost to that team.
To the Giants.
That team got beat 38-7, and we got beat by those guys. How much do we suck?
Well, and the Bengals, I mean, the Bengals-Bills was one-sided. If you
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. There was never a time where you really thought, boy, the Bengals are in trouble. Right. This thing's going. This might be going south for me. Didn't really feel
The
that.
Bengals went to Orchard Park and manhandled them, which
that's what the
pretty
Bengals
amazing.
do. The Bengals can play in the best weather and the worst weather. They're just built to win. You keep disrespecting them, not you, but the media, at people, and they're just going to keep winning football games. Joe Burrow said last week, he was asked the question, "Are you worried about your window closing?" He's like, "As long as I am here, the window is never closed." Now that is a badass answer right there. The guy is very confident in his skills.
Absolutely,
you're right.
You coach, but he didn't seem like in that game that he was rattled one time. Not one time.
The ability, there's a lot of things that go into Joe, but obviously his competitiveness and then how calm he is. And then he has such an ability to process. If you noticed a couple times things that he did at the line of scrimmage, they changed a lot. There was one time on, it was I think it was a 3rd and short like that, and you saw them, he got in sneak alignment, and they got in quarterback sneak defense, and he checked it. They went to the toss, went to the fight, got 15, 18 yards.
Yep.
That's all on the quarterback. And he was able to put him in plays, do things. Nothing's ever too big for him, but he has an elite ability. That's what you see with all the elite quarterbacks. Mahomes has it, is the ability to process, and that's not smart and dumb. That's just the ability of how fast their mind can twitch, and they see things of what just happened, and they can take pictures in their head so much faster than other people. Than they have God's gift of ability to go with it.
Yeah.
Some people have that, and that's why they get the 7-on-7 guys. That, man, this guy can spin it. Well, now they're rushing you. Now you have to move and make that throw. Now you have to do different, all the stuff that goes with it. That's why you see a lot of giant failures also at that position. And so when you're around those guys that are at that spot, some guys are, he's a great leader. He is, but he doesn't process real fast. Joe kind of has them all. Mahomes, all those guys do. They all have all of it.
They just see things happening before they happen.
They just when you're recruiting people, I used to always look for point guards. They can process so fast. They're coming down the field. There's 9 guys moving around them. Assists, what's going on. Magic Johnson, Stockton, they could process it. A ridiculous ability with peripheral things happening to them. That's just something that happens to certain people. That's just how you're kind of born.
I wonder if is there instances where a quarterback will go to the grease board in a recruiting situation or a draft situation, and he's just not very good on the grease board, and the coach will say, "Oh, I don't know if we can do this. He has a gun, but if he can't,
you have to be good. If that's another story too, when they did the interview, the recruiting process, when Joe came, Coach Ogeron talked about, and they put him on the board, and the whole staff's in there with him, and it was very clear to him. Coach Ogeron said the smartest guy in the room was Joe.
Wow.
He said so it was pretty evident right away with those things. But again, his ability to compete and to process is how he handles himself, and that's what all those guys do. Like I said, if you watch him, you'll see him. There was a couple drops in that game, and you'll see him kind of like that, and you see him right back into. He has his hands in his pockets, and just watching like that, he's just listening to the call coming in. He's on to the next thing. There's not emotion of wasted and that type of things. To be able to do that, and that's probably why you don't see. You saw something yesterday. You saw. The receiver for the
Diggs.
Bills
Pissed.
get in front of doing this stuff right there.
Saw it on TikTok.
I don't think someone's doing that to Joe Burrow.
I don't really.
I don't think all of a sudden someone's walking over to him.
I don't see Chase
like
doing
that.
that.
I don't see that happening.
Diggs was doing that to him on the sideline.
Yeah. Well, he shook him. He was pissed about a play that was a little bit late getting to him, and then he goes over, just in front of him, and Allen's just like looking down, like I'm not looking at you.
They were losing. Diggs was losing his cool.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. But you know what though? I don't mind it. I'd rather have a guy that's pissed than a guy that's just, I'm not saying a guy that doesn't show their emotion is not just as upset. They just, kind of express it differently. I didn't have a problem with Diggs being pissed off. He should have been pissed off. In fact, the coach, he mentioned that in the press conference after the game, to where he mentioned, he goes, you know what? We came here to win.
Yeah.
I hear you, but if I'm the other team, I'm looking over there and seeing that. I'm going, okay, they're rattled.
They're rattled.
Yeah, they were rattled.
Yeah.
They were definitely rattled.
I totally agree with you. The level of caring's good, but that the other team sees it.
Yeah.
And they're saying, okay, hey, dudes, look at that over there.
We got them.
Yeah.
We got them.
Yeah. So Chiefs, Bengals in the AFC Championship, and it'll be Eagles, Niners. Any initial thoughts on who we might see in the Super Bowl of those two matchups?
I like the Bengals. The Bengals are improved. Their offensive line's better. Their running games. I mean, remember their offensive line last year?
Well, you hang on.
Yeah.
They are missing 3 starters,
better.
and they only give up 1 sack.
Better.
That's it.
Offensive line's better. Running game's better. Special teams are better. They're better than the team that went to the Super Bowl last year. I think you got to put them in.
I agree with you on that.
I they'll have a very good chance, obviously, because nothing will be too big for them. Right away factors in. It's like their ability to run the ball is going to be good because if you look at the weather, I think it's going to be somewhere in the 12 to 14. It's going to be much colder than what they dealt with. Probably not weather, but snow. But it's going to be much colder. That's harder to play in than it is to play in with a little bit of moisture and a little bit of snow. They both teams handle the ball pretty well in the weather and stuff. But the extreme cold and how slick the ball gets, when balls can pop out, will be something. So ball security will be big on that. On the other side of it, I think if you take the both sides, the angriest defenses are the Eagles and the 49ers. If you watch those two defenses, they're angry. And so it's fun to watch those two teams get after. I think the team for Kansas City and for the Bengals are that way too. But I was really impressed with the Eagles
pass rush,
with just everything about it, just how they played, their speed of how they played. I've never coached in the NFL, but you just turn the film on, it's like, dang, these guys are playing at a ridiculous rate. Now they were getting off the field too. They were also, there were a lot of 3-and-outs or turnover that. So if you Google it like that again, search engine. So,
what?
It's a search
public
engine.
information.
Yes,
Google.
it's Google. I'll show you. It's on your phone.
Repository of information on there.
I can get.
Can we do that after the show?
After the show, I'll walk you through a bunch of those things.
Tutorials
for the World Wide Web.
You know what else I think is going to be a big factor? Mahomes' health in that type of cold.
Oh, we had a long discussion on that.
His ankle, when you figure in that type of temperature, it's going to be a lot harder for him to warm that joker up, man.
Yeah,
what do you do with the high ankles? Can you get shot up?
You can do some things with it. There's not a lot to do in between. If you have, we had Tua's had it done a couple times before, and you can do, they call it tightrope surgery.
Okay.
And it's a quick surgery. They do a tightrope on it like that to kind of tighten everything back together.
Whoa.
That's something that doesn't happen right now. That's not an option. But that is a way that they try to speed up a high ankle injury to be able to get that done. They'll probably I know a friend that I had, not friend, but Grant Delpit played for me at LSU and won the Thorpe Award. He was out. He had to get him ready like that. We spent ridiculous amount of money, and that was on stem cell stuff.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
See, I wonder right now if Mahomes has like a purple ankle. I mean, if anybody who's sprained their ankle knows. I mean, if you sprained it bad
when you see
it
swollen,
swollen. And if he does, I wouldn't let anybody see it on my team.
Nope.
No.
Hide that.
Right.
I'm fine.
They don't need to see
But
it.
it'll change, like we talked about. It'll change your play calling with them on what they're trying to get done, and that obviously the play caller and Andy Reid is unreal. But that'll be a difference for him.
Since he's going to come after him.
Like that.
Take the Bengals.
Yeah.
Now, who you get taken in the other game?
Niners. So it's going to be in Philadelphia versus the Niners, who just beat the Cowboys 19-12 last night. Dak goes down. Brock Purdy wasn't great. He was good enough in the game. Defense has been great all year long. D'Amico Ryans has got that thing rolling. They are a great defense. So it's in Philadelphia though, and Philly was great on Saturday. So
you have to take Philly.
I would take Philly. I'm pulling for the Niners. I got friends on that, more people on that staff. I'm pulling for the Niners, but I would take Philly in that. It'd be a fun place like that. That'd
be a great game.
AD, who are you taking?
I'm going to go with Philly. I like the 49ers. They're just I like Purdy's story. I like his story.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah,
he's going to make
incredible.
Yeah, I like the story.
He's going to make buckets of money. There's going to be just cash sitting around.
Yeah,
they'll be Mr.
Should he be the guy next year for them too? At this point, how is he not your quarterback? Trey Lance, of course, number 3 overall pick, gets hurt. They weren't great with him this year, and then Jimmy G was fine. He's good, but Purdy hasn't lost a game yet.
Right.
Yeah,
he doesn't make mistakes.
He's a rookie. And he's got him in the championship game.
How is he not your guy?
That's pretty insane.
It is.
It's really insane, and he hasn't made buffoonery plays.
He doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah, he's really impressive.
So AD, why are you taking the Eagles?
Philly is at home. They pummeled the Giants. And I'll say this: I think it's going to be a game where it's 7 to 10 points either way. But I still think Philly gets it done at home. Philly's playing awful good football right now, man. They're playing great football, and and the reason why I say at home, because Philly's going to be at home. If it was at San Fran, I'd say San Fran. That's why I think that's why I think these two teams are so evenly matched. I think they will, but I think Philly gets them by 7. I think so.
It's a little bit. It's very minute. It's probably a 10% thing, maybe less than that. But it's a tough travel.
Yeah,
week
3 hour time change,
San Francisco
road trip for Philly.
That's
Yeah.
about as far as you can get.
Yeah.
And so that's a difference also.
Is that difference? You guys look at it that way?
Like I said, just a little bit. That's not like a deciding thing, but anytime you get on a plane and it takes you 5.5 hours to get there, or Jake, which is so so intelligent to be able to get his flight to go to Miami first and then fly to Hawaii. That's
on the same day.
On the same day.
True moron.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you want to go to Hawaii? Yeah, I tell you the best thing. I got a great rate, so we're just going to go to Miami. And then we're going to whip back over. I mean,
go clear west.
You added 12 hours in air to get that done, and that's what we're dealing with.
You know what?
So I got a lot of stuff. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff here with you two. Thank God AD showed up.
Yeah.
Like that, just to bring some sort of sense into this place of common sense. Because I'd love to have seen my look on my face when you told me that the first time.
The video though when they won.
I was ecstatic.
That was amazing.
I was pumped.
It was hilarious, man.
Dolphins. I got into the playoffs. I did my job. My purpose was filled, and that's all I had to do. It was great.
Nice job.
All right, fellas. Well, Bill, it's been great. If you're just tuning in, Bill Busch has been with us the whole show. If you missed any of it, it's on the podcast page. You can rewatch it.
Maybe
YouTube.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
I would love to be back. That was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
We'll evaluate the situation.
We'll evaluate the situation.
We'll do some evaluating.
Exactly. I won't be by the phone real tight. Yeah, I won't be.
I want to listen to the tape.
Yeah.
Listen back and see.
Listen back to it. Just see.
See
There'll be
how
some
it went.
muffling when you're laughing at your own joke.
Hey, I'm gonna say this real fast before we go off though. It was after the Rutgers game. That I was in Chicago watching it at an airport restaurant, and the next morning my daughter had a tour of the stadium, and it was early. And who do I see? Coach Busch.
That's true,
dude. Thanks for always taking care of the fam, man.
I appreciate.
Took pictures out there. My daughter was like, "Weren't they just in New Jersey last night?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "That's the type of dedication."
Dang.
Wow.
And I showed her that picture from when I was at football school. Coach Busch, we both look like young whippersnappers in that picture, man.
Football
so we go back
school.
a long way, man.
Yeah, we go back a long ways.
Long
Like that back in the way back in the '90s stuff right there.
Yeah.
So it's good like that. Kind of dates me a little bit, but Aaron's younger than I am.
What happens.
But
All right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
The Drive with Raf and AD is next for Bill Busch and Steve Sipple. I'm Jake Sorensen. See you.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it.